Marcus, weekday afternoons from 3 to 6. It's time to get up and get your day started.
Morant. Oh! A jawbreaker!
It's Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Now, here are your hosts, Greg and Eli.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome into another week of Sports 56 Mornings. What a weekend it was in the world of sports. We got a great week coming up as the postseason begins in the NBA, but the Masters won once again by Rory. He had the big lead. He blew the lead. He got the lead back, and he wins the green jacket for a second year in a row. As I said, the NBA regular season is now over. The postseason begins. And the Grizzlies' long season has finally come to an end. Those are just some of the topics we'll touch on today here on Sports 56 Mornings, the Monday, April 13th, 2026 edition. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Jay Ham, we're all together again in the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. They got the spring sale going on right now. 69 degrees currently. It's going to warm up to 81 today. It'll be quite windy once again. Intervals of clouds and sunshine this afternoon. Tonight, mostly cloudy and warm. And then for the rest of the week, we're looking at high temperatures of 87 degrees tomorrow, 85 on Wednesday, and then 82 on Thursday before rain is expected in the area, about an 88% chance on Thursday, then back to 86 degrees on Friday before we have a cooling next weekend of a 67-degree day on Saturday. It is fantastic news for us as we are very pleased that our first hour of the program is now being sponsored by the great folks at Old Dominick Distillery at 305 South Front Street in downtown Memphis, a product made in Memphis, 150 years in the making, starting with the Canali family and their arrival to Memphis. The revival began in 2017 when the doors opened to the public. They have an unbelievable distillery bar right there at the premises where they produce the Tennessee whiskey, the bourbon whiskey, the vodka, that Honeybell citrus, the Formula 10 gin. It is really a fun place to go. If you're having dinner downtown, maybe seeing a ball game or going to dinner, stop by and have a cocktail to wrap up your night at the distillery bar. OldDominick.com is the website, pouring Memphis pride into every cocktail with their award-winning craft spirits. Swing by, as I mentioned, for a cocktail. Cheers to Memphis. Happy hour Thursdays from 4 to 7. Cocktails, $7, made with that signature spirits and $4 local beers at Old Dominick Distillery. Again, we can't thank them enough for being a part of our program and the first hour sponsor of Sports 56 Mornings. Eli, how was your weekend?
It was good. Great weekend. Obviously, the weather just absolutely spectacular once again. So took advantage of that. Watched a lot of golf. Played a lot of golf. Just had a good time.
Jay Ham, your weekend?
It was pretty good, but I had to kind of cool out away from the weather. When I see moderate air quality, I kind of duck low and guard my sinuses a little bit. But I got some good sleep this weekend.
Yeah, I deal with those sinuses as well. Had a good weekend. Called some Tigers baseball games. We'll have Matt Reiser, of course, on the program coming up at 9:05 to join us as he does every Monday. But I finally got home Sunday. We had an early game, so I had plenty of time to watch the Masters. I didn't see any of it on Saturday, but after Friday, I thought it would be a cakewalk for Rory, and then all of a sudden he's tied for the lead after 3 rounds. Still in a good position, but he went from a 6-stroke lead to tied. And then on Sunday, thought there'd be a lot of drama. There really wasn't in the end, although he put one in the trees on 18, but he had a 2-stroke cushion at that point and would go on to win. We'll talk more about that a little bit later on in the show. But we open up with the NBA and the end of the regular season. We'll tell you about where teams stand for the postseason and what the play-in schedule is. When we start with the Grizzlies, who did the ultimate tanking over the weekend. On Friday, playing the Utah Jazz, I didn't think it was possible that the Grizzlies would lose to the Jazz. I really didn't, even with their skeleton crew. They lost by 46 points. I mean, the ultimate tank job of the year. The Grizz played 6 guys and lost by 46, and then they come back, and you knew they were going to lose to the Rockets, even though the Rockets rested They're big-time players. They lose last night, 132-101. So the Grizzlies finish tied for the 6th worst record of the NBA. Overall, they finish with 25 wins and 57 losses. And today at 11 a.m. will be the always exciting exit interviews. I'll be curious to hear what General Manager Zach Kleiman has to say, head coach Tomas Isolo, and certainly some of those players. And, of course, the whole deal with Ja Morant, who I can't imagine will be available for the media.
That game Friday, that is some next level stuff to lose by 46 to the Utah Jazz. I just think if somebody before the year was like, oh, so on the final day of the regular season, or on the final week of the regular season, Lucas Williamson will take 19 shots in the game for the Grizzlies and play 48 minutes. What the reaction would have been if you'd have listened. Here's the people who will play in a game. All of the people who will play in a game in the final week of the regular season: Dariq Whitehead, Toby Okani, Lucas Williamson, Jemai Mashek, Adama Ball, and Ryan Rupert.
My gosh.
That will be your Grizzlies lineup the last week of the season. What do you think of that?
That's not even a good G League team.
Literally would, at that point, the only one of those that most people would have heard of would have been Jemai Mashek.
Right.
I mean, if you follow the hustle, you knew Lucas Williamson. But other than that, Rupert, most people would not have known. Ball, certainly no. Okani, no. Whitehead, it was a first-round pick. You might remember him from Duke. But, I mean, it's to go on. And again, and you're losing by 46 to a Utah Jazz team of their backups for the most part. I mean, they'd play Ace Bailey, and of course, John Conchar goes crazy with the triple-double.
They had 2 triple-doubles. One from Jitty, as you said.
It's, that was NBA action, just fantastic. That's what you want. That's what fans are really, that's what you pay the big money for, is to see games like that on Friday night. And those players on the court, that's the superstar level entertainment you're looking for.
You know, it's one of those situations where I think it's okay for us to make fun of our team. But when the national media starts to make fun, I get a little mad because in reality, while the Grizzlies were tanking, they were one of the teams tanking, no question. I thought they actually presented a decent product for a lot of the games where they played hard. They mixed the guys up to make sure they weren't winning too much. But I thought they did a pretty good job. Now, this was the obvious tankathon at the top level. But it's funny how everybody jumped on that particular game, that Utah-Memphis game, to really poke fun at the two, especially the Grizzlies.
When I saw that Jemai Mashek started at center at 6'4", it took me back to, you guys weren't here at that time, but when we had the WBL here in Memphis, the World Basketball League, it was a 6'5" and under league, and we had John Stark starting at the power forward back then. I was like, whoa, that kind of takes me back to 36 years ago when we had that league and that team at that time where we have a guard pretty much playing on the post.
They didn't have a legitimate center the last, couple of months of the season? Right. I mean, basically. Playing really legitimate bigs, they didn't have them.
No, they went out and signed Taj Gibson for whatever reason. And he theoretically, but he barely played.
Right.
During the time he's been here. So, does he get credit for the quadruple double with the 10 turnovers?
I would. I'd give it to him.
Is that?
We give him credit for everything else. Why not? The end of the season is crazy.
The old quad double.
You had a single game where 3 guys had a triple double. That's crazy in itself.
Do you think the Grizzlies, maybe even the Jazz, but the Grizzlies should be fined by the NBA?
No.
Okay.
The guys are hurt.
Yeah, guys are hurt, and
they got great toe injuries.
Well, what they put out. 6 guys that played that night.
They had 6 guys on Friday. They had 7 guys yesterday.
If you're going to fight, what's the minimum? 8 that you have to play? They have on a
you're supposed to have 8 guys.
You're supposed to have 8
available to play.
They'll probably get that fine, but other than that, leave them alone.
Right. Adam Silver has enough problems to worry about, but we'll see.
Taj Gibson was, I believe, eligible to play. He just didn't. Not that, you just have to have 8 guys available to play. Doesn't mean you have to play 8 guys. You just have to have 8 guys available.
Available to play. Okay.
The game on Sunday, last night's game against the Rockets, you mentioned Whitehead, Dariq Whitehead. I know Jerome Whitehead more than I know Dariq Whitehead. He had 26 points. Ryan Rupert had a double-double, 21 and 12. Javon Small had 18 points. It was a taxing season for everyone, for the team itself, obviously, all the members of the team, the fan base, the media having to cover this team. It was just awful. And there's nothing you could do about injuries. Unfortunately, it's the second time in 3 years that this has happened. Now we start to think ahead to what will hopefully be the changing of the luck from bad to good. And it will start with the draft lottery. So with the way they finished, Dallas won yesterday as well. Dallas won yesterday. They finished 6th, right? Tied for 6th?
No, they're 6th. They're sixth because Dallas beat Chicago. That's right. Okay, so 6th place. I read this morning where no team so far in the draft lottery that has had the 6th best odds, meaning the 6th worst record, has moved up. It hasn't happened.
You do realize this is a record-setting season for losses, right? We have 8 teams that have lost 55 games or more.
Is it really?
That's never happened before.
But again, with that said, the 6th worst record has never moved up in the draft lottery. Hopefully that will change. But again, I still believe an exorcism is needed. I don't think the Grizzlies are listening to me, but I do believe that should happen. Maybe starting today at the exit interviews.
They will have 90 of the combinations out of the 1,000 possible combinations for the draft lottery. They will have 90 of those. And we shall see. May 10th, again, is the date for the draft lottery when we will find out exactly where the Grizzlies will pick. And again, the good thing of finishing with the 6th versus the 7th or 8th is it improves the worst pick you can get. So they could move into the top 4. If they don't, they will pick either 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, or 10th. Theoretically, they got really bad luck. You could fall all the way down to 10th if 4 teams from behind you all jumped up. But I don't think that will happen. But so in all likelihood, they will pick again either top 4 or probably 6th or 7th or 8th, which top 8 to me is very key in this draft.
By the way, there were 180 players out yesterday. Last day of the season, 180 players were out because of various injuries and some fake illnesses and things of that nature. So John Moran, of course, did not play for I don't know how many games since the last time he played. And now, obviously, most people believe that this is it. That's why I wonder, again, today, when Zach Kleiman meets the media, what will he say? Last year, if I remember correctly, I was there last year, and he was pretty open, which was shocking. I remember being surprised that he was as open as he was. How open will he be with this situation? I mean, there are still people, if you're on social media, especially if you're on Twitter, that still think he's coming back and he's going to be a part of this team. And I just don't see any way in hell that he will be. Then there's the stories about whether or not they made him available for the jersey giveaway on that final game, the fan appreciation game. There's a lot of stories about that. But again, yesterday, I don't even know if he was with the team in Utah and then in Houston. Probably was, but that is certainly going to be a huge storyline, not only with the Grizzlies, but in the NBA this offseason. And then the draft lottery. Now, how long will it take if the Grizzlies can stay healthy, first of all, if Edey can come back and be healthy and the rest of the guys? How long will it take with the draft, free agency, trades, for them to be relevant? And they have been a relevant team in the postseason. How long will it take? And are people ready to wait? because I can't see in 1 year this thing getting turned around.
Well, part of that will be determined by the draft lottery, where that pick ends up being and who that pick ends up being. Orlando, that second pick for the Grizzlies, that appears that Orlando, they're in a good position. They just got to win one out of the two games in the play-in order to make the playoffs, so they could. But it certainly is not crazy to think that they could lose to Philadelphia and then lose theoretically to a Charlotte who's been pretty darn good and end up out of the playoffs. And the Grizzlies do end up with a second lottery pick, but that second pick would appear that it's going to be probably in that 14, 15, 16, somewhere mid first round range. Then of course you got the early second round pick, so you got a chance to add a good amount of talent in a great draft. 3 of the top 32 picks for the Grizzlies, so gives you a lot of options of doing some things if you decide they want to move up or do some other stuff. They certainly have good capital at their to be able to do what they want to do. And that's been Zach Kleiman's thing. Normally, in pretty much every draft he's done, they have targeted somebody and they have moved up to get that person, generally is what they do. Whether they'll do that here or not, well, we shall see. But they certainly have a good amount of capital to be used during this draft, which everybody knows is considered one of the great drafts that we've had in recent years.
Oh, there's no question about it. On paper, doesn't mean they all pan out. But you're right. They could package. They could keep all 3 picks. Again, they got an early second-round pick as well, and they have really been successful over the years in picking second-round guys. That first-round pick, whether it's lottery or not, and more than likely it won't be, like you said, 14, 15, 16, somewhere in that neighborhood, that could be a very, very good player. So, yes, I'm excited about that. Now, if you add 3 rookies, what else you doing with the roster? What are they going to do with Brandon Clark with all his legal issues and the injuries? So you have that decision to be made. Will they let him go with another year, I think, left on his contract? Will they make any other moves aside from the move that everybody expects them to make with Ja Morant? Will Ty Jerome be back? Will they look to try to deal Ty Jerome, which is, I think, a valuable asset for somebody out there? I think they can get something of quality for Ty, or a package of quality for Ty, if they want to move in that direction. So a lot of things that have to be decided by this front office. As far as any changes are concerned in the front office, for those who think that there should be a change, that ain't happening. Zach Kleiman will be back unless he decides to walk away and get offered the Chicago Bulls job. I don't see him moving on. Tomas Isolo, again, really unfair for Isolo. I mean, I don't wish that on my worst enemy, what he had to go through. He'll be back as the head coach. So I don't see any movement as far as that's concerned.
No, I don't. It's impossible to judge anything with Isolo and the coaching staff with what ended up happening with all the injuries and the way this played out. But no, I would expect that Zach Kleiman and Thomas Isolo will be both back next year, and hopefully a lot of players will be back from injuries for next year. But yeah, Zach Edey, I think, is probably certainly got to get him healthy and that ankle all healed up and ready to go for next year. And then, what new faces will be, or what do they get for Ja Morant? That's, are they able to get anything of consequence whatsoever for Ja, or do they end up having to use other guys just to get rid of him? That whole situation will be the big part of this. And what happens in Milwaukee with Giannis certainly plays a part in all that, as teams are looking at trades and how they want to, what happens. He's probably the first domino if they do decide they are going to end up moving him. But then Ja certainly will be one of those. When you're trading max contracts, it's not real easy to do, but teams in the offseason kind of knowing where they stand more, everything else, it makes it a little easier than in season.
Not a ton that can be said about this disappointing season, but if you'd like to Give us your opinion, your thoughts. You could always hit us up on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines at 901-360-8255 by calling in or texting in. I would imagine after today's exit interviews, maybe some juicy nuggets will come out of that, and we'll have more to talk about on the show tomorrow. But if you'd like to be a part of the program, you certainly can. When we come back, we'll talk about the final standings, who's in the playoffs, and then the play-in schedule for this week. Also, some coaching decisions have already been made in the NBA. We'll discuss that on the program as well. Lawn Solutions is a locally owned weed control fertilization company that serves the greater Memphis area. Brandon Holly and his team of professionals can take care of your lawn, and they take care of it all year long. Locally owned, family operated. Go to lawnsolutionsinc.net or call them at 901-867-5626. Again, they're a locally owned weed control fertilization company. They control the germination of weeds by applying what they call pre-emergence during the winter months and then post-emergence during the summer months. They can take care of any diseases your lawn has, any insect infestation, everything from dandelions to crabgrass, grub worms to moles. Again, things that will destroy your lawn or things that just make your lawn look unpleasant. It's Lawn Solutions. They've been doing it for a long time. They know exactly what they need to do to take care of your lawn. Be the envy of your neighborhood. 901-867-5626 or online at lawnsolutionsinc.net. Just underway on a Monday. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Did you miss your favorite Sports 56 show?
No!
Check out the podcast, broken down hourly at sports56whbq.com or wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to like and subscribe. Never miss any Sports 56 show again with our podcasts available daily from Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hi, I'm Parker Trotz with NST Injury Attorneys. For over 35 years, we've fought for Memphis families and won big. If you've been injured, the call is free, and you don't pay unless you win. NST is the way to go. Call 683-7000.
It's a new year, and it's the first new sale at Family Leisure. It's the floor model sale happening now. Family Leisure has deep, like diving deep discounts on over 100 display models and in-stock hot tubs, swim spas, even those cold plunges. How deep are these discounts? I'm not allowed to say. So if you've been putting off getting a new spa, then right now is the best time to buy. Here's one price I can let loose. You can get a spa as low as $99 a month. Plus, you can get over $1,000 in upgrades with every spa purchased. One other special deal, you can get an $8,000 spa for only $159 a month. And you know what? Family Leisure is going to throw in some LED lights and waterfalls on most models. Room's got to be made, and so do the deals at Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together. The wait is finally over. Get ready for the grand opening of the newly remodeled Landers Cadillac of Memphis. You can shop grand opening savings at Landers Cadillac of Memphis, and you'll find there's a special deal on all the remaining new 2024 Escalades. You can get $20,000 in total savings, and they're paying top dollar for trades at Landers Cadillac. See how much you can save with the Landers Easy Pass at CadillacofMemphis.com. And remember, if it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much.
Zach Bryan with Heaven on Tour.
Poison myself again. Something in the orange tells me you'll never come.
Saturday, May 2nd, Davis Wade Stadium.
Wish I didn't, but I do.
With special guests, Dijon and J.R. Carroll. Tickets on sale Friday at 11 a.m. at ZachBryan.com. Don't miss Zach Bryan live.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawa Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawa is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. As a couple of accidents in the rapid stages, more volume here in the last few minutes on Sam Cooper, especially right when you come off I-40 there inbound on Sam Cooper. Expect that to really start to pick up probably in the next 20-30 minutes as you work your way past Perkins there on Sam Cooper. It's cranking up from the south up 55 right now through DeSoto County. We have seen some rain south of Memphis this morning in certain areas. Give yourself extra time. Bridal season just around the corner. Shop local at Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Morning.
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 7:25 is the time. And once again, thank you to Old Dominick Distillery, now the first hour sponsor each and every day of Sports 56 Mornings. Great to have them along.
Got a text here on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener line, 360-8255, 360-8255. Text says, it amazes me how much the media want to run Ja out of town, but not run Zach Kleiman out with the same energy. Well, first of all, it's not about wanting to run Ja out of town. It's just the reality of the situation is they have made the decision to move on from Ja Morant. That's, a lot of people would like Ja to be here because he's fun to watch. Now, if he was here, you'd have to be on the floor actually playing rather than sitting in street clothes on the bench with injuries all the time. But it's just the reality of the situation. They made the decision to go to the rebuild and move on from Ja Morant. They didn't do it at the deadline, but in all likelihood, they will do it during this offseason, and they will make that move. That isn't anybody from the media wanting him out of town. It's just simply what the Grizzlies have decided to do.
No, first of all, it doesn't have to be one or the other. It could be neither or both. One has nothing to do with the other as far as being let go. The thing is that Kleiman, Robert Parra loves it. Robert Parra adores what this guy is doing. So he is not going to be let go. He's not going to be moved. Have we been critical at times of Zach Kleiman? Absolutely. If you listen to this show on a regular basis over the years, there have been times when we've been very critical of Kleiman. Last year, when they let go Jenkins, I ripped apart Kleiman. But then I also applauded him for the trade of Desmond Bane. I thought that was a good trade. I hated to see Des go. But it was a really good trade with what they were able to bring in. As far as Ja Morant is concerned, Ja Morant's a showstopper. He is, how many times do I say it? Must-watch television. Every time I've had interaction with Ja Morant, it's been good. Never had an issue. I'm not there every night, covering every game. But I've had enough times in the locker room to talk to Ja, answered the questions, no problem. All we're doing is reacting to what seems to be the situation, that his time has come and gone in Memphis. Now, you could be certainly upset that, unfortunately, most of the time he spends on the bench in regular clothes and not in a uniform. But certainly, this is not a crusade from the media that wants Ja out. This is reality of what will likely happen. And it would be a huge shocker if all of a sudden they turned around and decided to move forward with Ja. I wouldn't be upset. My concern would be, can he stay healthy? Not whether or not Ja Morant can be a great player again, because he will. I think when he goes somewhere else, if he goes somewhere else, which I think he will, there will be the return at some time of Ja Morant, the showstopper. But can he sustain that for the rest of his career? I highly doubt it.
Again, has Zach Kleiman been perfect as a GM? Well, no GM's ever perfect. But what what has Zach Kleiman done that would be to a point you believe he should be fired?
Well, only because people take sides.
I mean, his draft record is really good, quite frankly. I mean, what moves has he done that you would say, like, that is a fireable thing, the way he has handled things?
Because some people can't look at it independently.
Because his whole team got hurt?
No, people look at it, if they are pro-Ja, they're anti-climate. They can't look at it and grade on an individual basis. That is a problem. It doesn't have to be, like I said, one or the other. It could be both. It could be neither. But Kleiman's the one who makes the decisions. He's the boss. And again, from everything that's been out there, that's been put out there, it does appear that they're going to move away from Ja. So this is not some conspiracy. We're not conspiring as media members to oust Ja Morant. First of all, we don't have that kind of clout. Second of all, that would be a falsehood. That's not true.
I mean, the thing is, I guess you could be upset that they are going the rebuild direction, and you think they could have, tried this longer with the group that they had. But I mean, that's not a fireable thing. Like, that's just an organizational thing that they've realized that this just wasn't. They weren't getting there with this group, and it's with the injury situation and everything else. At some point, you do have to make that decision. If you don't believe what you have is good enough to compete, you're going to have to go in a different direction. They have made that decision. Again, you can maybe think they did that too early or whatever, but that's not something you're going to fire the GM over because they've decided to go to the rebuild route now.
Right, but it's certainly horrendous for a fan base that has now watched Desmond Bane get traded, Jaren Jackson Jr. get traded, and now likely Ja Morant get traded. I can understand the plight of the fan of the Memphis Grizzlies, who's had to put up with Lucas Williamson for the last couple of months and others. Not great.
Logan said it at the time. Rebuilds suck for fans. It's not fun to watch your team lose, but it's the reality of the situation. They have decided to go that way. Now, would you have rather seen them stick with what they got? Get into the playoffs, lose in the first round a few more times? I don't know. And who knows if they even do that? Because again, if you can't stay healthy, they weren't going to be able to get into the playoffs at all. So, at some point they look at it as, do we keep banging our heads against the door hoping that we stay healthy with a group that led by a guy who at this point has shown that he can't stay healthy? Dude's played 79 games in 3 years. Like, do you want to keep going? Maybe next year's the year he stay healthy.
I said that for so many years, and maybe I was premature in saying it, but I was the one who said, that window's not ajar. That window's not wide open. People kept saying, well, the window. You got the window. They're so young together. But I said, no, man, that window closes real quick. Injuries start to add up. Guys are disgruntled. There's off-the-court issues. Here's the thing, though. Kleiman has, again, this unbelievable relationship with Pera, apparently. But if he does not hit on these moves that will be made here in this offseason, in other words, if he doesn't take advantage of the assets he received in the Desmond Bane trade, or the organization received, in the Desmond Bane trade and the Jaren Jackson Jr. trade, and for whatever they get for Ja, which is not going to be a lot, it's going to be pennies on the dollar, and he doesn't make the appropriate moves to have the Grizzlies within 2 seasons back to relevancy, then to me, that's a fireable offense. Whether or not, though, his buddy fires him, that's a whole different ballgame. I don't know what that relationship is, but from afar, it looks like it's a pretty strong relationship where he has the confidence in Kleiman. But if I'm an owner and you're going to go ahead and make these moves, which is certainly going to upset a lot of fans who have been followers and fans of Jaren and Dez, and you're going to trade them all away, well, you better bring in star players. You better bring in guys who can be star players. You better bring in guys that have chemistry, where this team, again, becomes a playoff team. And so that's all on Kleiman. That the pressure is all on Kleiman, and it starts with the moves that will be made this offseason. This will be the most important offseason they have had in years. And you may not see it all together next season, but you better see improvements. Not a joke like it was this year. And then 2 years from now, they better be relevant. Now, Katie bar the door, if Edey's career crumbles because of injuries and a couple of the other guys that are important factors on this team, then you just back up the moving trucks. I don't know what you do after that. But hopefully that won't be the case. Hopefully the bad luck with the basketball gods will even out the good luck. And all of a sudden, things will happen positively for this team. And I think it starts again with this offseason, the importance of this offseason.
Yeah, health is going to be the number one. It's the number one thing that this team. And again, I don't know. It's not figuring it out. I don't know. They just got to. It is, whether it's just bad luck or whatever, but something has to be done to actually keep guys healthy. And they have not been able to do that really at all. Every time they've been in the playoffs, there's always been a key injury. Obviously, 2 of the last 3 years dealt with so many injuries. It's crazy. But they've got to figure out some way to just keep guys healthy and available to play a season.
Absolutely. Tony is dialed in on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines. What's up, Tone?
Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm going to say this. I don't have a problem with them doing a rebuild, but I do believe they need to get rid of Zach Kleiman. I could feel the last caller because I did think that the media, not only did the management at the Grizzlies kind of turn against the man and start trying to kneecap him like they kneecap Taylor Jenkins. Now, I didn't have a problem with that. They started to negative, to me, being negative toward from Dylan Brooks down. Now, Desmond Bain, they did not. But I thought that it was some things that was said when Ja was really pro the city, where he had the gun incident, and it seemed like the tide started turning with the media. Then later on with Kleiman, because how can you let a rookie coach come in, go public out with the media like he did? Because usually when coaches throw players under the bus, then there's something said about him. But they let that guy come in. They knew that they wanted to hire him in the beginning. They kneecapped Taylor Jenkins the way they did and scuffed his whole staff, put this guy right next to him. You can see the guy on the TV talking to him in his ear, and it looked like Taylor Jenkins was annoyed. From then on, it just seemed to have been a difference in the way after that they started to treat Ja. Once that guy started, he had that one conference, and then people started saying, well, Ja's energy looked different, this and that. But to me, Jaren's energy looked different too. You got rid of Jaren because of his contract, basically, and you had put both feet in on the rebuild. But it's just a lot to me that I think that Zach Kleiman has made a lot of errors. People want to praise him because of his second-round draft pick. But what about his first-round draft picks? What about a lot of draft picks he made? He didn't trade them off. He get more chances than a cat get live.
That's not a bad assessment, Tony. Thank you very much for the call. I appreciate it, Tony. That was very thorough, and what Tony said, it's hard to argue what he. Now, here's the thing: they are not going to fire Zach Kleiman. I mean, unless it's some craziness behind the scenes thing that I don't know about. Zach Kleiman's going to be making all these decisions, so get used to that. But I mean, Tony made some interesting points.
Again, if you could, I guess, have a problem with the whole coaching situation. But again, you're not firing the GM over hiring Thomas Isolo. That's not a fireable thing. Like, we don't even know what Thomas Isolo is. We have no idea because, again, everybody's been hurt. And his first-round draft picks, you mean Desmond Bain as the 30th overall pick? Santi Aldama as the 30th pick? What, Brandon Clark at 21? Now, granted, he's gotten hurt, but whatever. Cedric Coward this past year? Again, you can't take a shot at Zach Kleiman's draft record. I mean, you just can't. Like, nobody's ever going to be perfect drafting. You can go look at any GM, and they're going to have picks that don't pan out. Zach Kleiman, to me, draft-wise, has been fantastic.
But I like what Tony's. I don't know if I like it, but I agree with him when he talked about Taylor Jenkins. They brought in their guy
Yeah, it was obvious
to take out Taylor Jenkins.
Who's going to hire Thomas Isolo as an assistant? I said it on the show.
Yes.
He's going to replace.
We both agree.
They brought him in to replace Taylor Jenkins. Again, you may not like that, and whatever. We don't know how it would have worked out differently. Ja had issues last year with Taylor Jenkins, when Taylor Jenkins was the head coach too, with the offense and everything else that was happening. Now, again, you could say that may not have been on Taylor. That's the guys they brought in to run that offense, whatever. But it's so you can dislike the way the coaching situation was handled. That's not something you fire the GM over.
No, I understand that. I'm not saying that. But he's right about the way they went after Jenkins, who, by the way, could end up being the Bucs head coach, as Doc Rivers is out, as most people know, after yesterday's finale for the Bucs. But that was strategic. They brought Isolo in to become the head coach. Now, when he was brought in, I remember us talking about whether or not you go to Ja when you make that type of move before everything had crumbled in Ja's world as far as his relationship with the Grizzlies. Do you go to Ja just like you would go to LeBron or go to some of the big names with their particular team? And I don't know how that went but I think he signed off on it. I think he understood what the move was, that they were bringing Isolo in. And like you said, he had some issues with Jenkins when Jenkins was the head coach. But yes, absolutely, I think that there's some merit to what Tony said. Dennis is dialed in on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines. Hi, Dennis.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Eli, I agree with you 100%, man. I mean, the guys had a great record in drafting. And Ja, like you just alluded to, Ja had a hand in Jenkins getting out of here. I mean, there's no way, and I hate to, y'all know how much I call in and I stick up with Penny. It's the same thing. Penny's been coddled. Ja was coddled. I mean, both of them guys are protected, man. There's no way all of that stuff he did, and under most situations, this probably would have been happening. We love Ja. This city embraces basketball players, and we take them, in like our own. So we're going to defend them. But to say that, Kleiman needs to go, something had to be done, man. Something had to be done, And like you guys said, injuries is going to be a big part of it. Eli, me and you Cowboy fans, there's such thing as bad luck in sports. And we've had bad luck. So, I hate Josh gone, man. And like you said, he might come back. I don't know. I doubt it. But it's time to move on, man. And I think Kleiman is doing a good job, man.
All right. Thank you, Dennis.
I mean, so when you go into a rebuild, again, rebuilds suck for fans. But if you're going into a rebuild, you have to go fully into it. You can't dip your toes in a rebuild. I'm like, we're gonna. That's why Jaren was traded. Once you made the decision that you're done with Ja, well, there's no reason. I said it at that time too. There's no reason to have Jaren. You're going rebuild. You go full in on the rebuild.
Yeah, you called that.
And they did. And again, Ja, they weren't able to get enough or whatever to do it at the deadline. Again, it's easier to trade him in the offseason, and certainly I think they will. And it's tough. Yeah, I mean, anytime in a market like this, you have a superstar, you finally get one, it sucks that it ends this way. Like that, one, you didn't get to see him play enough because he's been hurt so much. And two, he'll be traded, and then you don't have him. And then you got to hope that you're able in the draft to get another one of those. And that's not always easy to do. They got really lucky with him. Unfortunately, it turned out the way it did, but now you got to hope, fingers crossed, that either you get really lucky in the lottery and move up, or you just, wherever you pick, you're able to hit really good on this draft pick. And because there will be guys, even at probably 6, 7, 8, that have superstar potential, and you nail one of those to get your next superstar.
Well, I disagree that you always have to go full rebuild. You make a trade of one guy. I don't know why it's automatically we got to trade everybody else with relevancy. Why do you have to do that? I think they did this because with Jaren, the contract, number one. Number two, I don't think in reality they looked at what Jackson was giving them and they were happy with what he was giving them. He was good, but he wasn't great. And I think they figured if we can get a king's ransom for him, let's make a move with him. And they did. You called it. I give you a lot of credit. You called it from the get-go. You said they're going to, and of course they end up trading Jackson, and they still haven't traded Ja. But I don't know why you have to go complete rebuild unless you...
Because what's the purpose of keeping Jaren Jackson at that point?
Because if you think
Jaren... What, you want to try and get into the first round of the playoffs and lose every year?
So that's what I'm saying. If you think Jaren Jackson is the guy that you can build around, then you don't trade him. My point is they had to have thought he's not, which I have always said. You know what I've said about Jaren Jackson Jr. To me, if he was the guy, they would have kept him. But he obviously wasn't the guy in their mind, so let's get what we can get now for Jackson, which is a lot, because he's a very good player, and teams will pay a heavy price for him. And let's trade Dez, because we know Dez will bring back a king's ransom, which he did. And now you unfortunately have the situation with Ja, who was at one point the best of the three, certainly the showstopper, the universal star, international star, and now you're getting pennies on the dollar for him. That's something I still scratch my head, and I can't believe that that's the case, but that's because of the injuries. Sure, he had the gun thing, he had the off the court indiscretions. It's the injuries now that people are looking at going, we're not going to spend that type of money to bring in this guy who may play 5 games and wow the fans and then all of a sudden be out for the rest of the season. So obviously they're not getting... So they can't continue to think that they can build around Ja when Ja is not playing. Ja's been hurt for 3 years. And people, again, I understand the relationships they have from afar with stars in their city. And the relationships they have, and maybe some actually know Ja personally. But you have to be honest with yourself. He's been off the floor more than he's been on the floor. They have to change directions. They have to go somewhere else. And they're not going to bring in all these young guys and try to build around Ja with those young guys. They're going to let those young guys be the building blocks for this team. It's going to be a problem for a year, hopefully not 2, but it could be in the rebuild. That's the unfortunate thing.
Got some texts that we will get to coming up in just a little bit. You can keep those coming in, 901-360-8255, 360-8255. That is the Sissy's Log Cabin listener line.
Town Village Audubon Park is senior living in today's world, located at 950 Cherry Road, just off Park Avenue in the heart of East Memphis. Offering more options that fit your needs more than ever before. They're dedicated to the long-term satisfaction and the quality of life for their residents. All they ask is that you're 55 years of age or older. So when you're thinking about your parents, your grandparents, or even your golden years, think Town Village Audubon Park. You can go online to find out more about them at townvillageaudubonpark.com. Call them at 901-537-0002. Independent living, short-term respite stay, monthly options may be the way to go. Everything you need to continue to enjoy life to its fullest. The basic services include monthly rental with no buy-in. Apartments include full kitchen, washer, and dryer, excluding the efficiency apartments. All-inclusive resort-style dining with multiple venues, outpatient therapy, the community amenities. They have a community center, which features a fitness center, or a community social area, which features a fitness center, home theater, indoor pool and whirlpool, 24-hour pantry, Village Nook convenience store, beauty salon, library, and computer center. They have 5 landscape courtyards on the premises, resident gardening areas, recreational, religious, social, and wellness activities, dog park, gated parking for your safety. Everything you need to enjoy life to its fullest. It's Town Village Audubon Park. Call them today. Tell them you heard it here on Sports 56 Mornings, 901-537-0002, or online at townvillageaudubonpark.com. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11, here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Unlock your new go-to spot, Codes Dispensary in Steele, Missouri, just over an hour from Memphis. When you're ready for a legal, reliable option, they're right up the road. Explore the full menu of top-shelf products in-store and online. Short on time? Order ahead and cruise through the drive-thru for a quick pickup. Stack rewards while you stock up with Club Codes. Earn points for every dollar spent. Codes Dispensary, now open in Steele, Missouri. Supreme cannabis that's worth the drive. Learn more at codesdispensary.com. That's codesdispensary.com.
Do you hear that? Asthma triggers are everywhere, from dust mites, pet dander, and pollen, to smog and smoke. An asthma attack can strike anywhere, anytime. Be prepared with quick-acting Primatene Mist. Clinically proven to open airways quickly. It's the #1 FDA-approved asthma inhaler available over the counter. Primatene Mist. Breathe easy again. Use as directed.
Sponsored by Armstrong Pharmaceuticals.
Guns, guns, and more guns. Over 700 firearms in stock. Home defense guns, old guns, new guns, used guns, big guns, little guns. Every gun you can think of, Classic Arms has them. All brands like Glock, Sig, Colt, Ruger, Smith & Wesson, Browning, Beretta, Benelli, Remington, Winchester, and more. Guaranteed lowest prices in town. Only gun importer in the Mid-South. Free gun inspections and appraisals and free bore sighting for the upcoming deer season. Shop online at ClassicArmsOfMemphis.com or visit Classic Arms at 1740 Germantown Parkway behind Corky's Barbecue in Cordova.
Come on and let the good times roll, y'all. Or as we say in Louisiana, laissez le bon temps rouler. The Orleans in the Ville with our made-from-scratch red beans, jambalaya, gumbo, po' boys, and made-fresh daily muffaladas right here in Collierville. Eat, drink, and stay for dessert like our homemade bread pudding with warm bourbon sauce. Monday through Friday, meat and two with homemade veggies. So good you bring your mom and them. Brunch every Saturday and Sunday. Right here, the Orleans in the Ville, 336 New Byhalia Road. Where great food, live music, and endless fun meet.
Running a business is hard enough, but cleaning a business? Your time's too valuable for that. You need High-Low Commercial Services, dedicated professional cleaners with 15 years of cleaning experience. High-Low customizes your cleaning needs, and you get the JRD guarantee. We clean until you're satisfied. Shopping center, retail spaces, medical, legal offices, High-Low cleans it all. Visit MrCleanTeam.com. That is MrCleanTeam, MrCleanTeam.com for High-Low Commercial Services.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Good morning.
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
So it does appear Fred Smith will be joining us on the show tomorrow. He'll be flying back from Kansas, where he flew out to for an all-star game. Of course, the latest Memphis Tigers commit, the Briarcrest Christian star, was expected to be on with us on Friday. So I believe, hopefully, fingers crossed, he'll be on with us tomorrow.
Some more text here on the Sisters Log Cabin listener line, 360-8255. Text says, I like what Zach has done draft-wise. He's definitely had to make some tough decisions. All I could say is I remember the days of drafting the Robert Archibalds and Cesare Trubanskis of the world. Thank God for Zach.
Got a text from Brett. Says Taylor Jenkins was a dead man walking his final year when the front office fired all of his assistant coaches before the season. He had no option but to embrace the new coaches and changes. I know from a conversation with one of the fired assistants that Taylor went to each assistant coach's home, sat down and thanked them for their contributions. They knew it was not Taylor that pulled the trigger on these changes. No doubt there was an agenda and Taylor was not going to survive it.
Yeah, there was no doubt about that. He was put in an impossible situation. And the writing was certainly on the wall, and everybody knew that. Grizzly Steve says, everybody's still talking about Ja being gone, but no one in the front office has come out and said anything possibly about trading Ja. It's pure speculation. Yeah, again, they're not going to come out and tell everybody yes, we are trading Ja Morant. But all of the reporting and everything else of there's what they tried to do at the deadline that all these national reporters weren't making that stuff up. I mean, they didn't trade, and again, they wouldn't trade Jaren Jackson Jr. to hold on to Ja Morant.
You're also not going to tell all the other teams what you're going to do. You're hoping to get something out of this deal, assuming that deal happens. And again, 11 o'clock today is the exit interviews. We'll hear. We'll see if Zach Kleiman says anything. Again, he's not going to come out and say, we're absolutely 100% trading Ja Morant. But I'll be very curious how what words he uses, how he phrases things when talking about his future.
Keith says it's not just injuries with Ja. His game has never progressed. He's the player now that he was when he was a rookie. He can't shoot, and he can only score by doing something thrilling. He's not a point guard to me.
Numbers have gone down, but I still think he can do enough where he's one of the better players on the court every time out. But his numbers, his statistics did go down in the limited time he played this year as far as shooting percentages.
Yeah, his shooting was, the 3-point shooting was 20, he ended up at 23.5%. I mean,
how many times I scream on this show, don't shoot threes, Ja.
And overall 41% are, that's by far a career low as far as that goes. No, you could certainly make that argument. Now, saying he's not a point guard, I don't know why you say he's not a point guard. I mean, he's a point guard. I mean, he still averaged over 8 assists per game in the time that he played this year.
I'd still take a very healthy Ja Morant over a lot of players in the NBA and a lot of point guards over. So I don't want to, not pile on the guy as far as like the skills. Yeah, the shooting numbers went down a bit.
I mean, his assist number, the 8.1, that matches his career high. He's done that 3 different times, 3 different seasons where he's at 8.1 assists. So I don't, to say he's not a point guard, I think he absolutely, and again, healthy Ja is a really good point guard.
Right. And when you don't have enough shooting around you, you are forced sometimes to take those threes. Again, to me, a little bit ill-advised. He was not a good three-point shooter. But when you lose a Des Bane and some of the other guys that had the ability to shoot threes, even not having Ty Jerome when he was actually playing, Ja was playing, which was limited. Who knows if you have more shooters around you, three-point shooters, Ja can drive and dish. Yes, he wasn't as fearless going to the rack like he was as a rookie, which is probably a smart thing from a injury standpoint. But again, the injury still happened either way. Let me go to Gilbert here, who's dialed in on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines. Hi, Gilbert.
Hello, how you guys doing?
Doing well. What you got?
Guys show?
Thank you.
Well, my main question is do we really trust Zach Kleiman with these draft picks? And number 2 is, we really need to look at Zach Edey for our future, because with these, just like Ja with these injuries, can we survive another year with Zach Edey being injured? That's all I have to say, guys, and keep up the good work.
Thank you, Gilbert, and you hit it on the head with Edey. That's concerning, I know, to a lot of people, including me. If Zach Edey comes out next year and then gets hurt again, I don't know. I mean, I think you got to pull the plug. That's why with this draft, we'll see what they end up doing after that first pick, if they go and look for a big to add to this roster, because I don't know if you can depend on Zach right now from a health standpoint. As far as Kleiman making the decisions, Eli, you got the track record over there. I mean, he's hit on a lot.
Why would we not trust Zach Kleiman with these draft picks?
He's hit on a lot. He's missed a few, but he's hit on a lot.
You should trust Zach Kleiman with these draft picks. That's been the best thing he's done is draft. Like I fully trust Zach Kleiman with these draft picks.
J-Ham, do you?
It's not the draft picks. It's going, I think, beyond the draft picks. But that's a whole other topic for another day.
Right, but the draft picks, you're fine with Zach making those decisions?
He's great in scouting and evaluating. I have no problem with him there.
Okay.
I mean, that was your question you would ask about, like, the Chris Wallace days about the draft picks. But, again, I don't, like, you can't fault his track record in the draft. John says, perhaps Ja was legitimately hurt the past 2 seasons, but this season I believe Ja was capable of playing more, but a combination of Coach Isolo and Ja's attitude toward his rookie coach have led to this nonsense. In my opinion, you get rid of Isolo, hire a veteran coach, and build around Ja, Coward, and Edey in our lottery picks.
There were games played this year. I mean, like playing around with the situation. I agree with that. I think there were certainly times when Ja could have played. I do believe that, but because of all the reasons, and that I don't believe is a part of the future, I think that was another reason to keep him off the court. I know people kept saying, well, you put him on the court to showcase. No, I mean, that wasn't going to happen, and then they put him on the shelf for the rest of the season. As far as building around him, you're going to depend on 3 guys. He said Coward, Edey, and Ja. Ja's been hurt the last 3 years. Edey, unfortunately, who was never hurt at Purdue, has been hurt now in Memphis since his arrival, basically. Coward in his first year had a really good rookie year. I think you build around Coward, but I don't know if I would depend on 2 out of those 3 guys to build around, guys that have continually been hurt. Edey's had now a couple of procedures already in the last year. By the way, this was texted to me that in a year in which all the Grizzlies were hurt at one point or another, basically, 3 guys who at one point last year were with the Grizzlies played in every single game this year in the NBA. Des Bane, 82. Jay Huff, 82. Jake LaRavia, 82. All former Grizzlies. All right, we got to take a timeout. We'll come back. We'll continue this conversation. We'll take a look at the play-in schedule for this week, how the standings wrapped up for the regular season, which, of course, ended yesterday. More of your calls and texts on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines at 901-360-8255. We have a lot of portal news that we'll get to. The transfer portal open for business, and it's starting to get busy. And then we'll look back at Rory's win at the Masters for a repeat, a successful defense of his green jacket. Again, hour number 1 brought to you by the great folks at Old Dominic Distillery. Great to have them along. Hour 2 on the way. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Available locally on your radio dial as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, it's easy to stay tuned to Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different.
Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Progressive's accident response can detect and send help when you need it most, after a major car accident. But other accidents, you're on your own. Like when you accidentally call your wife Mom. When you accidentally say Happy Holidays on someone's birthday. When you accidentally wave at someone you thought was waving at you. We can't help with those accidents, but Progressive's accident response provides peace of mind after major car accidents. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Limited availability in California. Driver is responsible for emergency and towing charges not covered by the policy.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. Do you know what Penny Hardaway and I have in common? We should both be in that building celebrating the best basketball players of all time. Of course, I'll have to buy a ticket to get in, but he should already be there. But seriously, we both surround ourselves with the best people we can find. We work hard to achieve our goals, and we are both among the best in our respective fields. At Fiveash, we can't win titles or get national awards, but what we can and do strive to do is give 100% of ourselves to give you the best product possible and one you can be proud of. So if you need a roof, siding, or gutters, give us a call at 901-367-0050, and we will do everything we can to provide you the best of everything. Fiveash Roofing. Fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
This traffic report brought to you by Lauren Tag Hill of Ware Jones Realty. If you're buying a house or selling one and want fast action, contact Lauren Hill at warejones.com.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. As traffic volume increases even more in the last 15-20 minutes out here, right where you pretty much would expect through the Midtown area. It's still clear right now coming down I-40 in from Fayette County. However, there's been some radar out there around New Airline Road through that stretch of Fayette County just before you get into Shelby County on I-40 in both directions. Hey, don't let the slipping transmission make things worse on your car or truck. If you're having transmission problems, just bring it to Amco Transmissions today with 2 area Memphis locations. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis with Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus. Weekday afternoons from 3 to 6.
Now back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Diamonds are forever. Woo!
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 8:04 the time. Hour number 2 here on Sports 56 Mornings, the Monday, April 13th, 2026 edition. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Jay Ham. We're live and local, broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, check them out at 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. 68 degrees currently. Windy, cloudy this morning, intervals of clouds and sunshine this afternoon, the high temperature of 81, and maybe a sprinkle here and there as well. Tonight, mostly cloudy and warm, 66 degrees. And then the weather for the next couple of days, very warm in the mid to upper 80s. On Thursday, it looks like the best chance for the return of some precip. We haven't had any in a while. About an 88% chance of possibly some thunder boomers on Thursday. Hour 2 of the program brought to you by the great folks at James Gaddis Jewelers, your family's jeweler at 4900 Poplar between Mendenhall and St. Nick, and on the web at gaddisjewelers.com. If you're getting engaged, if you're looking for a special gift for a special someone in your family, James Gaddis Jewelers. You need something of praise, James Gaddis Jewelers. You're selling your gold, silver, and diamonds, James Gaddis Jewelers. They're full-service jewelers with 2 bench jewelers ready to serve you. So if you need something fixed, you need a cleaning, bring it over to James Gaddis Jewelers. 4900 Poplar between Mendenhall and St. Nick, and on the web at gaddisjewelers.com. And every Monday and Friday, they bring you the Memphis Sports Fact. Did you know Will Wade's staff, in his return to LSU, the one-time LSU head coach, went to NC State, now back at LSU, his staff will include 3 coaches with ties to Memphis. Friend of the show, Damon Stoudemire. He was an assistant with the University of Memphis 2 different times. He was also an assistant coach and a former player with the Memphis Grizzlies. Damon Stoudemire, the former head coach at Georgia Tech, is on the staff. Rick Stansbury, former Memphis assistant coach, former head coach at Mississippi State, Western Kentucky. He is on the staff. And Johnny Jones, former Tigers assistant and former Tigers head coach, who became the interim head coach after the firing of Tick Price. Johnny Jones is on that Will Wade staff. James Gaddis Jewelers. Again, go see them at 4900 Poplar between Mendenhall and St. Nick, and on the web at gaddisjewelers.com. That is quite the staff that Will Wade has put together.
Yeah, that's obviously a lot of head coaching experience in that staff. I mean, that's good for him.
If you have the money to be able to bring those type of coaches in, why not? So the wrap-up of the NBA regular season yesterday, the Detroit Pistons claimed the number 1 spot in the East. Boston finished second, the Knicks third, Cleveland fourth, Toronto fifth, and Atlanta did get the 6th spot. In the West, OKC, once again, your regular season champions, the Spurs, with just a great season. Denver finished third, the Lakers fourth, Houston fifth, and Minnesota got the 6th spot. So, the play-in begins tomorrow. The Heat and the Hornets. The Heat are a 10 seed in the East. The Hornets are a 9 seed. The loser is done. Also tomorrow, it's an 8-7 in the West with the 8th seed, the Trailblazers, at the 7th seed, the Suns. Then on Wednesday, in the East, it's an 8-7. You have the Magic at the Sixers. Again, with the 8-7, the winner of that game is in the playoffs. And then at the late game on Wednesday, the 10-9 game, the Warriors and the Clippers. So the loser of the 10-9 is out. The winner of the 10-9 will play the loser of the 8-7 to get the 8th seed. And again, the 8-7 winner gets the 7th seed. Did I confuse you folks? Do you guys like the play-in?
I like any extra basketball. I'm cool with it.
We think tanking's bad enough as it is. If you took away the play, there'd just be a couple more teams that are tanking to end the year. So, no, I'm all for it. I like the play-in a lot.
See, I look at the play-in to me as it's the postseason. You can call it what you want, but to me, it's the start of the playoffs. It's like the wild card in baseball. Now, I look at the NCAA basketball tournament with the Dayton games. To me, it's like not the tournament. For some reason, I look at it that way.
If eliminations are involved, it's playoff activity to me.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. So there you go. You got the Heat, Hornets on Tuesday, Trailblazers and the Suns, and then on Wednesday, the Magic and the Sixers, the Warriors and the Clippers. You talked in hour number one about the importance of the Magic when it comes to the Grizzlies and that second pick in the first round. Well, they're helped by the fact that, again, that the Sixers will not have Joel Embiid.
Yeah, although I think Philadelphia is still the favorite in that game playing at home.
They are 1.5 point favorite.
So again, if they were to lose that game at Philadelphia, it's certainly not out of the question that they could then turn around and lose to either Miami or Charlotte as well and end up being a second lottery pick for the Grizzlies. But they do have 2 games to win one in order to get in, so it's more likely that they would make the playoffs than not. But we'll see how that plays out.
Charlotte is a 5.5 point favorite over the Miami Heat tomorrow. The Suns are a 4.5 point favorite over the Trailblazers. Just mentioned the Sixers, a 1.5 point favorite over the Magic on Wednesday. And the Clippers are a 3.5 point favorite over the Golden State Warriors, who do have Steph Curry back, but I'm not so sure they care that they're actually still alive and playing in postseason action. Doc Rivers out in Milwaukee, and Giannis has said that while he continues to vent about the Bucks, he won't rule out a return. I just don't see it, guys. I think it's going to be a blockbuster trade that happens in the summer with Giannis being dealt. What do you think?
I think I really don't know. I wouldn't be surprised at all if he ends up staying there and signing an extension. I don't know. I think part of it will probably depend on what happens in the draft lottery with them. But I could see it going either way. I could see them if he's certainly there are issues there between him and the organization, but I don't think they're like issues that absolutely he couldn't possibly play there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
The whole situation at the end of the year with the injury and cleared to play, all that stuff. Certainly there is some strain there, but I don't think it's like irreparable. Like I could very much see that if they were, if things work out well for them, especially if they get bumped up in the draft lottery, where they end up deciding to keep him and give him an extension, and he would be willing to sign an extension there.
The Kings announced that Doug Christie will return. Is there going to be any other coaching changes? You've talked, J-Ham, about New Orleans before.
Oh, yeah, they definitely will have something going. I mean, I think if
it's already been done. I mean, this is an interim coach.
They made him the head guy full-time?
No, I'm saying like they already made it. They have to hire a coach.
Okay.
We know that.
Oh, I didn't even know he was let go.
Willie Green was let go.
Willie
This
Green
is
was
the
let go.
Willie Green.
For the whole season.
Just
about.
That's how much I paid attention to the Pelicans.
I
thought Willie was still there. Hey, Willie, where you at?
He actually was, I think, at the Knicks game yesterday.
Oh, was he really?
He was hanging out with some of his old former players, just, fellowshipping and whatnot.
Anything else?
Well, Billy Donovan, we'll see what happens there.
Well, he'll be there. It's just who's going to come in as the GM.
Whenever the Magic are done, they're going to get rid of Jamal Mosley.
Especially if they don't even make the playoffs. Like if they were to lose 2 games here in the play-in, then there'd be no doubt about that. I think even with a first round exit in the playoffs, I think he's probably done.
I think anything short of him getting to the finals, he's pretty much done there. So it's going to be some changes though in that match.
Some other notes from the NBA. I didn't know that he was leading in either category, but Nikola Jokic ends up the rebound leader and the assist leader. When I've been talking MVP, it's been SGA or Wemby. But, again, the guy who you can argue is the best player on the planet, leads in rebounds and assists.
It's redefining the center position one day at a time.
And he did get his 65th game, so he was the one Nugget starter that played yesterday. How about Mikal Bridges? He played 23 seconds for the Knicks to keep the streak going. He has never missed a game.
They let him get away with that minus the 20-minute minimum for the...
Right. No minimum, I guess, apparently, as far as playing in a game. His streak now is at 638 straight games. He's never missed a game. Played a whole 23 seconds in this one.
And as far as the MVP voting, All-NBA voting, all that stuff, that is on hold because Luka Doncic is basically appealing his situation. He played in 64 games. He's appealing because of the fact that he missed games due to the birth of his child where he went back to Europe. So that, I can't remember, extenuating circumstances or whatever the thing is. That appeal will be decided apparently within the next 48 hours. I think he couldn't file the appeal till the season officially ended. Once he files it, I think it's got to be done in 48 hours. So they'll make that decision. And apparently they're holding the ballots until that is decided. Obviously, voters need to know whether Luka Doncic is eligible for these awards or not. So once that is decided, then the ballots will go out and they'll have all the voting for postseason awards. But they have to decide on whether he is eligible or not, having played in 64 games.
So I mentioned the play-in starts tomorrow, Wednesday, and then Friday. But the playoffs start on Saturday, and we already have matchups set and odds already out. So the Raptors and the Cavaliers in the East. Cleveland is a 7.5-point favorite in Game 1. They are the home team. The Nuggets will host the Timberwolves. That should be a pretty good series. Denver, a 6.5-point favorite over Minnesota. The Knicks are a 4.5-point favorite over the Hawks. And the Rockets on the road are a 4.5-point favorite over the Lakers. These are Saturday games. Sunday, of course, we don't know exactly who will play the Celtics. It's either going to be the Sixers or the Magic. The Thunder's opponent, the Pistons' opponent, still to be determined. And either the Suns or the Trailblazers will play the Spurs. So odds obviously have not been put out yet on those because we don't know the exact matchups.
Yeah, Denver's a little bit bigger favorite in that series than I had thought they would be. They're minus 350. I thought that would be a little bit closer odds-wise as far as the series is concerned, but I think that series could be a lot of fun between Minnesota and Denver.
They're best of 5, aren't they?
Yes, the first round is it's best of 7. That's
all
right.
Seven,
They're all best of 7?
Best of 7 again. That's right.
They should go back to the best of 5 for the first round, I think, though.
Baseball's the one that still does the best of 5. NBA went to the best of 7, yeah.
All right.
The problem with that is they don't want. They really don't want the 8s beating the 1s. Like, and the more games, the more chances are. The shorter series, then it becomes can be a little bit dicey. But they want the best teams to advance in the end.
Well, it seems to be the trend in all the sports, especially in college sports with different conferences changing their tournament rules. We know that in the American Conference, you finish first or second in basketball, you're automatically into the semifinals. They've also done some things with baseball to give the advantage to the teams that had the better records during the regular season. So it only makes sense that they would do that and try to give the better teams in the NBA, the higher seeded teams, the better chance to win. But I still like it best of 5 for the first round. But yeah, that surprised me. I didn't know it had gone to best of 7. Okay, if you want to continue to hit us up on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines about the Grizzlies and moving ahead, the future, John Morant, and all that good stuff, your comments on Zach Kleiman, 901-360-8255. Again, the exit interviews will be held today at 11 o'clock over at FedEx Forum. Not open to the public, but I'm sure we'll get some juicy stuff that comes out of that, and we'll talk about it on the program tomorrow. In other basketball news from the college basketball world, portal news, and if you missed it, the chances of Memphis bringing back P.J. Haggerty, who was with them a couple of seasons ago, then went to Kansas State, is over. P.J. Haggerty has committed, according to reports, to Texas A&M. Last year at Kansas State, while they were bad, he was good again. 23.4 points, 5.3 rebounds, 3.8 assists per game. Have you heard any numbers being floated around?
I have not seen any, no. I mean, we're getting a lot of we're starting to get some of the big names, committing and doing their thing, but I haven't seen any numbers as to and again, it'll all be speculation, but I have not seen anything as far as what kind of numbers these guys are getting.
Yeah, the number that I'd heard that they were going after, they meaning his family, and if he has a representative as far as an agent, $4 million is what they were going after. Not sure if that's what he got, but that was the rumor out there. Also, a couple of guys from local connections that were in the news over the weekend as far as the portal is concerned. Daniel Vieira-Tuck, who was committed to the University of Memphis, ended up not playing with the Tigers last year, is now headed to Tennessee State, where he'll play for former Memphis Tiger assistant coach Nolan Smith. Former Overton High School star, Chattanooga transfer Jordan Friesen, who many thought maybe Memphis would be in on him. He has signed with Wichita State, so he'll get to play against Memphis as he's headed now to play for the Shockers.
Yeah, and again, we're starting to get a lot of the commitments now. Like Louisville had a great weekend,
big weekend,
landing Badunga, the big from Kansas, as well as Shellstad, the transfer guard from Oregon. Again, who knows how much money that was for that combination, but I guarantee it's a lot of that. Now that, and as these top guys continue to go more and more, that you got Chilovich, the shooter out of Iowa State, who's going through the draft process, but also into the portal as well. If he does come back to college, a guy who shoots 50% from 3-point range will be very, very much sought after as a possible portal landing.
There's a lot of rumors out there as far as Penny Hardaway's team, what Memphis may do. They now have Gabriel Harris here. I believe he's here or is on his way here because their season is over. They came up short, the Stockton Kings, trying to win back-to-back G League titles, but another great run, and Gabriel's the new general manager for the University of Memphis. But from the rumor mill, things I've heard, including Memphis has, I think, put a nice offer out there for Rowan Brumball, and Rowan Brumball is considering several schools, but a couple of them are power conference schools, which you would think with the season he had would be offering. So I'm not sure where those offers are, what a difference it could be from a financial standpoint, but 99% of the time, the most money out there on the table is where these players are going to go. By the way, did you see, not to get off track here, I want to get back to this here in a second, but Lenore Sellers, was it his father who came out and said that they turned down $8 million?
Mm-hmm.
Get the hell out of here. I don't believe it. I do not believe it. I'm telling you, I don't believe it. He's a good quarterback, but $8 million?
Yeah, I don't
buy it.
I would be surprised if and I don't know what he's getting from South Carolina, but I don't. I would find it hard to believe you would turn down that much money.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Hitman Hoops, who has some information out there, and the guy's pretty good at knowing some info that other people don't have. He had a bunch of stuff over the weekend, including that Memphis is looking at Mizzou assistant Steve Wright, a former Duquesne assistant coach, who's also been involved with grassroots basketball with the UA circuit, that he will be the next assistant coach for Memphis. Again, Memphis is going to add a fourth assistant coach, according to reports out there. I think Jason Munns may have had it first, but we'll see if it ends up being Steve Wright. Also, that Memphis has Zoom setups with Duquesne 6'5" transfer Jimmy Williams, who's also looking at SMU, Ohio State, Oklahoma State, among others. Also a Zoom setup with Mississippi State big 6'10" transfer Jamarian Davis Fleming. They have reportedly had a visit from, or will have a visit from, North Carolina A&T transfer Lorian Walker, 6'5" shooting guard, small forward, a really good shooter. According to his report, he's already had a Zoom meeting with the University of Memphis, but there are a number of different schools that are after him as well. So some of the names that are out there, again, not substantiated by me, but rumors that are out there in the Twitterverse that Memphis could be going after. I would imagine things start to heat up here in the next week. Again, they don't have to sign all the guys in the 2-week period that players can go into the transfer portal, which will end on the 21st. But you would think that it will start to heat up a little bit. And we still haven't heard about Aaron Bradshaw, whether or not he is officially in the portal or not. That name is the only name affiliated with the University of Memphis from last year's team, this past season's team, that either hasn't announced he's staying or is in the portal. So we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand why he wouldn't have just at least be in the portal at this point.
Right. He has until the 21st. Still has 8 days.
But I don't know why you wouldn't at least put your name into the portal. If there's any chance of you leaving, you get into the portal.
Right, because there are actually some schools out there that may go by the rules and wait till the player's actually in the portal before they contact them. Only a few. Not sure who they are, but...
Yeah. Again, I'm sure his agent is having all these conversations at it, but it's just weird that you wouldn't just at least throw your name into the portal just to make that part of it official.
I agree.
And see what happens from there. There's been, you couldn't still negotiate with the University of Memphis if that's what's going on and possibly return there. But we'll see, I guess, another week whether he officially goes into the portal or not. Hall Power Washing Solutions. If you want to make sure your home, your business, everything's looking as good as it could possibly look as good as it could possibly look, you need to talk to Hall Power Washing Solutions. Roderick Hall and his folks will make sure that the exterior of your home, your roof, your patio, your driveway, your sidewalks, all of that stuff looks great. A lot of dirt and grime and things build up through the winter months. You want to make sure it's looking its best, and all you got to do is make one simple phone call. That's to Hall Power Washing Solutions, 258-1399. 258-1399. That's the phone number to Roderick at Hall Power Washing Solutions. You can also just go to their website, hallpowerwashingsolutions.com. That's HALL, hallpowerwashingsolutions.com. Right there on the website, you can see some pictures, some examples of the work they do, all the different services that they offer. And also you can get a quote right there on the website as well, whether it's commercial, whether it's residential. Again, you want the exterior of your home, your roof, all of that looking great. Certainly if your business, you want to make sure your business looks great, the driveway, the parking lot, all of that. Talk to the folks at Hall Power Washing Solutions. Again, hallpowerwashingsolutions.com. That's the website. Or give them a call at 901-258-1399.
This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Did you miss your favorite Sports 56 show?
No!
Check out the podcast, broken down hourly at sports56whbq.com or wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to like and subscribe. Never miss any Sports 56 show again with our podcasts available daily from Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hi, it's the Herd. If you're over 40, you'll recognize this. You're doing the right things, going to the gym, trying to eat right, but your energy's down and your metabolism's slower. That's not a discipline problem, it's biology, and it doesn't fix itself. Most men try to push through it. More caffeine, more restriction, more willpower. That's not the issue. Support is. I've taken M-Drive for years, every morning with my coffee. M-Drive Boost and Burn is built for this. Steady energy and metabolism support. So your effort actually works again. It's designed for everyday use without extremes or spikes. It's also the #1 men's health brand at Sprouts. So if you're over 40, the longer you wait, the harder this gets. Go to mdriveformen.com. The code, as always, is HERD, H-E-R-D. For 20% off your first purchase, H-E-R-D at mdriveformen.com. Or find it on Amazon or Sprouts. M-Drive for men who still show up.
Are you ready to bang? Bangers Pickleball in South Haven is now open with 10 courts, a restaurant, and 3 bars. New to pickleball? No problem. Take a free Bangers 101 class to learn. Bangers offers a great time for everyone, and there's no membership required. Bangers has events for you non-pickleballers too, like mahjong, trivia, and whiskey and wine tastings. Bangers Pickleball has it all. All the rage, all the fun, all for you. Please drink responsibly at Bangers Pickleball, 6787 Snowden Lane, South Haven, Mississippi. Let's bang.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Since 1948, in the alley, the Rendezvous. I'm with John Burgos. John, what's going on in the Rendezvous?
Brett, after 76 years, we've decided to expand our product line. Anyone who's tasted our ribs is familiar with our vinegar base. It's now available in a 32-ounce jar. It's so good to base or marinate all meats. I even put a little bit on turnip greens. Something we've been using at the restaurant or at our house has been the Greek seasoning. My father was a cook, but my mother was a chef, and she was the one that put Greek seasoning on everything from a Mediterranean diet or a steak. My mom used it on soup, salad, veggies, fish, any meats. It's a great seasoning and a flavor enhancer. My brother Nick figured out salt and pepper was more than just McCormick's and Morton's. He's come up with a perfect blend we use to coat our shoulders and our brisket, and he used to make it for his friends as Christmas gifts, and they loved it. All these products are available at the Rendezvous or online for shipping as gifts and in many grocery stores. And if they're not in your favorite grocery store, ask your grocer to stock it.
A beloved family affair and still going strong since 1948, the Rendezvous.
This traffic brought to you by Old Dominick Distillery. Come for the spirits, stay for the experience. Cheers to Memphis. Learn more at olddominick.com.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. It remains a little bit busy with that volume right now. Westbound I-40 here from Germantown Parkway down to Sycamore View Road, Midtown. Traffic's doing its thing. It's busy now, I-40, especially there around Chelsea, as it continues to pick up 55 over here around 3rd. Taking some getting used to with all that road work. Hey, don't let a slipping transmission make things worse on your car or truck. Bring it to Amco Transmissions today with 2 area Memphis locations. That's Amco Transmissions. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Genuine diamonds, baby.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
It was a wild but successful ride for Rory McIlroy at Augusta National as he defends his Masters Championship after 17 years trying. He finally got it done last year. And then 1 year later, he's in the winner's circle again. I got to be honest with you. He had the 6-shot lead at the halfway mark. I'm sure everybody and their mom thought Rory's going to win. And then after the 3rd round, when he was tied for the lead, and especially when he lost the lead early in the 4th round, I'm sure most people, including myself, said, he's not winning. I was looking for 5, 6, 7 different guys that could win on Sunday, and Rory shut me up. Rory McIlroy, your Masters champion in not only 2025, but in 2026.
Yeah, pretty amazing that he's been able to do this kind of a second act almost. You know, he went 11 years without any majors, and now has won back-to-back Masters to get to 6 for his career. You know, it's always an adventure with Rory. You never know. He had the double bogey early. Looked there like maybe Justin Rose was finally going to be able to get the green jacket after the 3-time runner-up finishes. But then he's unable to do it. Then Rory played extremely well there on Amen Corner, and then able to hold on an 18 despite the tee shot a million miles right. I guess he technically hit it far enough right to give him at least a way to go over the trees rather than having to try and hit some punch shot through there. But yeah, pretty amazing stuff fourth guy ever to go back-to-back at the Masters. Scotty Scheffler. I still can't believe the putt on 17 didn't go in for Scheffler. I don't like it. Didn't look like it was going in. For the life of me, can't figure out how it didn't. That hurt, but Scheffler got hurt early. I mean, he only birdied one of the par fives on the day, did not birdie either one of the par fives on the front nine, which you just have to take advantage of those par fives, and he was unable to do so. But, congratulations to Rory, man. Pretty amazing stuff. After all the disappointment through the years to come out now and win it back-to-back years.
You mentioned the fourth golfer to win back-to-back Masters titles, the other three. Nicklaus, Woods, and Faldo. Pretty good company. Yeah, it was... Scheffler was interesting. I had decided that I wasn't going to pick Scheffler. I don't know why. And then you turn around and early on in the tournament, okay, Scotty's human. And then by Sunday afternoon, early Sunday evening, he's right there again. He's right there. He's one shot behind. He finishes second. But then you had some interesting characters after him. Justin Rose, who's now 46, is that correct?
45
or 46.
Believe,
okay.
So.
To once again get so close, finishes tied for third. He had a couple of just errant shots in on that back nine. I thought Rose was in great position to win. Cam Young coming off the Players Championship. I don't know what to expect from Cam Young. He was terrific. Russell Henley is always good. I got to remember this for next year. When I'm picking guys top 10, pick Russell Henley. He's always there. And Terrell Hatton, who, fortunately for the live guys, they were terrible. He was really good. They all finished 10 under, 2 off the pace. Then you had Colin Morikawa with the back. And then 4 or 5 in a row he birdied on Sunday?
It was not easy. It was a struggle, but he was able to get through 72 holes somehow. And not only got through 72 holes, but played very well with that back issue.
Sam Burns tied with him at -9. They tied for 7th. And then tying for 9th, Xander Schauffele, who I thought had a really good chance to win. This came out of nowhere. Max Homa, -8. Max Homa was ready for the ferry tour, whatever it's called. The Corn Ferry Tour. I mean, he's just not been what he used to be. And then he goes out there and shoots 8 under at the Masters. Good for him.
Yeah, he's had some tournaments he's been very inconsistent with his game. He's had some tournaments where he's played well, but I mean he hasn't been able to get back to what he was a couple of years ago when he was able to win and looked like he was one of those real bright young stars. But he found a way to piece it together in this one.
So that was the good. The bad starts and maybe ends with Bryson DeChambeau. He was my pick. I don't know what happened.
Well,
is he overthinking things?
Two bunkers happened to him. The one on number 11 on Thursday when it took him 3 shots to get out, and then 18 on Friday with the chance to make the cut and makes the triple bogey on that hole, leaving it in the bunker again.
How about an iron that he made from a 3D machine? I don't know. Whatever. Maybe that was a problem.
But no, it was that was certainly really surprising to see him again, even with battling back Friday, giving himself the opportunity going to 18, the bogey makes the cut, and to make another triple there to miss the cut. I mean, that certainly was very surprising.
John Rahm, his performance early, he ended up having a good Sunday round, but he was never a factor. That was certainly surprising and bad. And then you get to the ugly, and Robert McIntyre, of course, the birds he was flipping, and he was reprimanded for that. He was awful. But what Sergio Garcia, a former champion, a Masters winner, what he did on the second hole, I think it was. The second hole. He's got his whole round to go. He breaks his driver, and ESPN, I don't know, this is going a little far, but ESPN, I forget which host it was, calls for Sergio to get a lifetime Masters exemption, or to get his lifetime Masters exemption revoked. I think it's a little much, but he can't act like that, act like a baby like that. Again, he's a former champion.
Hey, golf is frustrating. I don't. I mean,
by the way, it was Greenberg. Mike Greenberg is the one who's calling for that.
Guys get angry. I don't. It happens.
Yeah, look, we all get angry playing golf. I'm not even good, and I get angry, but I never will break a tee marker, anything like that. I'm not going to do damage to the course, especially at Augusta National, and especially as a former champion. I don't know. I don't know what you can do. He plays on the Live Tour. You know what you can do, and you're not going to stop him from coming back next year. That's not happening. That's ridiculous what Greenberg says. But I would like to be some sort of severe penalty, maybe a fine or something, but I don't know if they could do that. I don't know what the rules are.
Well, the Masters
are independent contractors.
Can do whatever they want.
Well, sure, they can do, but they're not going to ban him from playing in the future.
Again, I don't think they really need to do anything. They reprimanded him. He had to play the rest of the round without a driver. So what? The guy gets mad.
What's a reprimand? You shouldn't have done that. You should feel bad about what you did. Now go in the corner and think about what you did. I don't know what a reprimand is. I mean, with McIntyre, it's not like he broke his club, but he's flipping the bird. And again, the Masters is different. Sorry. Snooty, put your nose up. Yeah, it's different. It is different. You got to accept it for being different. You can't be flipping the bird out there. You can't be breaking things. You can't be smashing your driver.
What McIntyre did was technically, again, I don't care about either one of them, but was worse than what Sergio did. I mean, on TV, flipping the bird is worse than just banging your driver. And again, Sergio penalized himself because he has to play the rest of the day without the driver. But again, guys get mad during the game of golf. So be it.
All right, so 6 majors now for Rory McIlroy. How old's Rory now? He's still in his 30s, right?
Yeah, I think he's been on tour for how many years now?
I still remember when Rory was given an exemption here in Memphis.
He's 36.
36 years old. He was given an exemption by the late, great Phil Cannon. That was during the Sanford years, right? Wasn't it Sanford? Is that what it was called? Sanford Financial? The guy?
Stanford.
Stanford. Okay. And the head guy got locked up. He ended up going to jail. He was Sir something, whatever. But I remember Rory, that was when Lee Westwood won. And I was covering it for, I mean, what year it was, one of the TV stations I worked for. And I was down there behind the green, and here comes this white guy with an afro. He had a big old fro, Rory McIlroy.
Like John Reagan style with
Yes. Yes. Like Rigo. I'm like, what? And he came down to congratulate Lee Westwood. Of course, Lee Westwood was represented and still is. I don't know if he still is, but UPS, which was the whole thing was weird. You know, UPS, is FedEx thing. Here comes, but Rory was given that exemption and he came down and congratulated Lee Westwood. You just never know when people start out just how good they'll be. I remember when Phil Cannon got us Jordan Spieth. Eli and I were doing our shows out there when the hub right behind the driving range. They have something there now, but it's not really where you do the broadcast. We do it down the 18th fairway. But it used to be really easy for the players to come over. And he brought us this young guy named Jordan Spieth who got an exemption. And he was nice, pleasant guy. We had him on the show. Who was to think that, he would go on to win? What's he got? 4 majors, Spieth? At least 3. 3 probably, right?
I think he has.
Wait, I got it right here. Let's see. Spieth has.
He probably has 4. Or does he just have 1 in each?
Let's see.
Yeah, he's just won the 3 one time.
Yeah, so he's got 3. But anyway, the point is that Rory's won 6. So I asked on Twitter yesterday, where does he fall now in the annals of golf history when you take everything into consideration? Ryder Cup play, the 6 majors, other tournaments, where he's been ranked in the world rankings, his impact on the game of golf. Now, from a major standpoint, he's well behind. Obviously, Jack and Tiger setting the tone there, but even guys like Walter Hagen has 11, Ben Hogan 9, Gary Player is 9, Tom Watson is 8. I mean, he's not that far off now, but he has 6. He's tied with Lee Trevino's got 6, Nick Faldo's got 6, Phil Mickelson now has 6, Rory now has 6. Has Rory now surpassed Mickelson? Has he surpassed Sir Nick Faldo? Has he surpassed Lee Trevino, even though they all have the same amount of majors?
You certainly can make the case he's got 2 Players' Championships along with his majors. So you could very much make that argument for Rory over Phil.
Yeah, you don't look at the money list. I mean, that's a whole different ballgame with how much Lee Trevino made compared to what Rory McIlroy made. But Lee Trevino was instrumental in him and Chichi Rodriguez and a few others to help the Hispanic population fall in love with the game of golf. So his impact still may be more than Rory, and they have the same amount of majors. This is hard to believe, but Arnold Palmer only has 1 more major than those guys. Arnold Palmer has 7 majors, but his impact obviously huge in the game of golf. Arnold got it started before Jack took the torch and ran with it.
The thing about Rory to me that is, like watching him now again playing the way he is, it's just still crazy that he had that 11-year gap with no majors. Really, right through his prime. I mean,
right.
It's just amazing to think because you watch him, the way he drives the ball, how far he hits it, everything else, and then here he won really without the first couple of days. He couldn't find a fairway to save his life. But he's just so talented and so good. You think, like, how in the world did that guy go 11 years through his prime without winning a major? It just doesn't make sense. But it's golf. That's the crazy part.
Well, the argument would be that there's much more competition today than there was when Lee Trevino was playing, or even when the guys were playing in the 80s and 90s. That the competition now, there's too many incredibly talented golfers. And I buy that.
Oh, there's no doubt. I mean, yeah, the equipment, the competition, everything else is different and opens it up to a lot of other guys. But still, you watch a guy that talented and you just say, like, how does that do? Firstly, you just think he should win, like, every time he plays. Because, like, Scheffler does, but if you watch Rory, like Scheffler, you like look at this weird kind of awkward swing and everything else. Like, the dude's really good. We all know he's the best, all that stuff. But Rory, you watch it, you're like there's not, like, you're just like, how does this dude, like, it's beautiful. Like, right. The swing's beautiful. Everything's just beautiful about the way he plays. But then he sprays it all over again, like that shot on 18. Like, first of all, I have no idea why he's trying to hit driver there. Just, you got to make a bogey, hit an iron out there. Like, if that ball gets, like, right behind a tree somewhere, like, you could theoretically make double bogey. But like, dude, just take whatever doesn't reach the bunkers and hit it right at the bunkers with whatever iron that is in your bag, and you're not going to make worse than bogey.
Right.
It's impossible.
Right.
Instead, he blasted a mile and a half right. But that is the roar. When you watch that, you're like, that's why he went 11 years without winning majors, because he has that in him, like, of just all of a sudden one of these shots that you're like, how in the world does Rory McIlroy hit that golf shot?
Yeah, and it's a good thing that Augusta, while certainly a challenging course, but mainly on the greens with the undulation and things of that nature, where you put it is so important. But it's not like, there are some holes certainly that have water, and there are some holes like at Amen Corner, the par 3, you could put it back there in the woods. But for the most part, because we've been there, if you spray it right or left, unless it's right behind the tree, you're going to have somewhat of a shot to knock it out. It's those courses that when you go left or right and it's just thick forest and you know the ball's gone, I hate those. I like it where there's actually some trees and a lot of opening where you can actually find the ball and just knock it back into play, or use the other fairway to go down.
Texter says Mickelson has 11 more worldwide wins than McIlroy, so no, he hasn't passed. Plus, Phil did it at peak Tiger.
Okay.
That is a very good argument.
That's a good argument.
The fact that, yes, you were out there, how many more majors could he possibly have had if he wasn't competing against Tiger Woods in his heyday? That, again, I think you can make an argument either way. Obviously, Rory has the career Grand Slam, all that stuff. I think there's a good argument to be made either way as far as Phil and Rory are concerned.
There is, but I would tend to agree with the texter there that I would still lean toward Phil at this point.
East Coast Wings and Grill. No, there were probably, I wasn't up there this weekend, but I'm sure there were a lot of people up there watching the Masters Saturday and Sunday, enjoying some of that great food while doing that. Of course, the NBA playoffs now going to be getting underway. Major League Baseball in full swing, and they've always got all the games, all the action on the many TVs up at East Coast Wings and Grill. Plus, plenty of great food that you could choose from, including, of course, the wings with 60 different flavors to choose from. You could check those out, but all beyond the wings, a lot of other great things on the menu, some great sandwiches, salads, the flatbreads like the Philly cheesesteak flatbread. Of course, happy hour Monday through Friday, 3:30 until 6:30, and every day during happy hour, they've got specials. Today being Monday, it's Mechanical Monday for you mechanics, auto workers, and tradesmen out there. 20% off your bill. Office workers Tuesday, essential worker Wednesday, healthcare Thursday, and first responder Friday. That you could take advantage of those great deals over at East Coast Wings and Grill, located in Bartlett, just off Highway 64, right between the Lowe's and Walmart out there. Check them out. Great food, great place to watch the games. East Coast Wings and Grill.
You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You know, sometimes I wish I had a gun.
Well, I'm armed, but before I bought one, I still went to Top Gun Academy to learn to protect myself without a gun.
How is that possible?
Top Gun's personal protection training. It's perfect if you want to protect yourself without firearms.
I don't know.
And it's perfect if you feel the need to carry a gun for self-defense, because the last thing you really want to do is shoot.
That is scary.
Not at Top Gun. It's very comfortable, and you learn to load, handle, and shoot a handgun safely. Protect yourself. Go to Top Gun Academy. They're at 2770 Winton Road.
Air. We breathe it naturally. Simple, right? Not so fast. The air you breathe could be hazardous to your health. Don't guess. Be sure with a phone call to the Memphis Mold Inspector, the only licensed mold assessor in the Mid-South. Call the Memphis Mold Inspector to check the air quality inside your home and office. Protect babies, pets, new homes, old homes, employees, friends, loved ones, and you. Just call 901-292-7788 for clean air and peace of mind. 901-292-7788 for the Memphis Mold Inspector.
Hey Memphis, Kayla Clement from Memphis Softball. You work hard for your money, so choose a financial team that works just as hard for you. Southern Security Credit Union offers great rates, personal service, and a local touch you can trust. Visit southernsecurity.org or call 901-452-7900 to join today. Southern Security Credit Union, your home team credit union, is a proud supporter of the Memphis Athletics and 901 Women and is federally insured by the NCUA.
This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Mark Spensdorf Realtors. I'm often called Shell Done because I sell homes and work with buyers and I get the job done. There are 7 keys to successfully selling your home quickly at a great price. First, call me. I do my research and advise you on preparation, presentation, and proper pricing that gets you the activity to get the best price. Follow my advice and it can happen. I did mention 7 keys to a successful sale, didn't I? Well, if you use the first key, calling or emailing me, you really don't need the next 6 keys. Remember, that's Sheldon Rosengarten at 483-0546 or MemphisRelocate.com. If you don't need me now, write it down for later or for a friend. That's Sheldon at 483-0546 at MemphisRelocate.com. Do it now, and who knows, you may hear your home advertised here. Remember, as bad a golfer as I am, when selling homes, Shell Done gets it done.
Your home is your best investment, so why not make it the best it can be with help from Gates Lumber? Start with your front door, serving 2 purposes, curb appeal and security. Gates has solid construction doors built for security, durability, and beauty. See and compare wood, steel, and fiberglass options side by side at Gates Showroom. It's easier to choose when you can see and touch real doors with real assistance from knowledgeable staff helping you choose the right door for your home and budget. So don't just replace your door, upgrade your protection, and Gates Lumber is the right choice. Family owned and operated, serving you for over 100 years with free estimates, free delivery, competitive prices, and quality products. Call 901-942-3201, go to gateslumber.com, or come by their showroom, 1253 South Bellevue Boulevard. Gates Lumber, celebrating over 100 years with a passion for craftsmanship since 1920.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Isn't it a lovely morning?
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Another texter texts in, says when Mickelson played, the field was nowhere near as hard as it is now. Yeah, you did have the dominant Tiger at the top, but I do think most people would probably say that the overall depth of fields is better now than it was then. So you can make that argument again. I think there is an argument made either way for Phil versus Rory.
And I've watched golf for decades, but I've never seen more competitiveness in today's world than in the past. Sure, in the 70s when you had Nicklaus and Trevino and Johnny Miller and Weiskopf, it was kind of the end of the Arnie run. I mean, there was 8, 9, 10 guys. There's 30 guys now that are really good. Really good. But 50 guys that can win every week. It's just, it's amazing how good and how competitive golf is right now. We had some sad news over the weekend. A friend of the show, Browning Nagel, former NFL quarterback who was a star quarterback at Louisville. He used to live in Memphis, passed away at the age of 57 from colon cancer. He was selected number 34 overall by the Jets in the 1991 NFL draft. He didn't have the NFL career that certainly he had hoped and that most thought he would. Big, strong guy, could hit a golf ball a country mile, but he was a standout college coach. And he was just a great guy, and we would have him on the show. Browning passed away at the age of 57, so our thoughts and prayers with the Nagel family. Also, from the world of baseball, scrap iron, Phil Garner passed away at the age of 76 from pancreatic cancer. Damn cancer. 3-time All-Star, former manager for a number of teams. One of those players that was in the dirt, got the dirty, kind of like Matt Reiser when he played in college, who's going to be joining us to open up hour number 3. One of those guys, do the dirty work. But he was a 3-time All-Star, so Phil Garner passes away at the age of 76.
Got a text here from Bill, says, Rory spent 3 weeks practicing at the course. Scotty spent that time changing diapers. Yeah, again, Scotty, that's why I went away from Scotty Scheffler going into this, was you just don't know. Like, when you take some time off, the birth of the child, the last 2 tournaments he had played in, he certainly had not been the normal Scotty Scheffler. So I didn't know for sure really what to expect out of him. But bottom line is, when it comes to the toughest golf courses and things like that, you probably should count that Scotty Scheffler is going to be near the top of the field, because if the cream rises to the top at the tough golf courses, he's generally going to be there.
Well, it's nice to have the resources, the money to be able to do what reportedly Rory was able to do. He lives in Florida. The story was he would drive his daughter to, I don't know if she's kindergarten or whatever the grade she's in, drive her to school, jump on the private plane, fly to Augusta, play around, come back, pick up the kid from school. I mean, it must be nice to be able to have those types of resources. Now, with that said, Rory had all those rounds of practice under his belt, and to the point of the texter, Scotty maybe did not have it this time around because of the little baby that was just born. Priorities, right? But Rory comes out like gangbusters as a 6-shot lead after 2 rounds, and you would think, oh, man, it's because all those times he got to practice here in the last month before. Well, then what happened on Saturday? He didn't have it on Saturday. Sometimes you have it, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you practice and you have it, sometimes you don't practice and you have it. There's no rhyme or reason for golf. Just it's good days and bad days. And then the fact, again, that he lost the lead on Sunday. He was already leaking oil from Saturday. That is what blows me away about everything, is that Rory was able to get it together. He had some great drives on the back 9, some tremendous putts, and then everybody else in the field that was right there seemed to wilt. Scheffler didn't wilt. He just, as you said, missed that on that 17th. That putt was right there on the doorstep and just would not fall. But all the other guys, from Rose to Cameron Young, Henley had opportunities, missed a bunch of putts. They all did. And he didn't. So I give him an awful lot of credit, because I would have bet, and I didn't bet on this event, but if I bet on Sunday going into that 4th and final round, I wouldn't have bet Rory. I did not think he would win. And what did he do? He won. Folks, take your basketball skills to the next level at Shoot 360 Memphis, a revolutionary basketball training facility. It combines cutting-edge technology with gamification and provides instant objective feedback with hands-on, one-on-one expert coaching. There are a bunch of Shoot 360s around the country. So this is not just in Memphis. And there are many professional players that put their name to Shoot 360, including Thaddeus Young here in Memphis, one of the owners of Shoot 360 Memphis. So you know it's got to be good. The 17-year NBA veteran puts his name and his stamp of approval on Shoot 360. You got a basketball player or players in your family, you want them to get an opportunity to get great coaching and to get better specifically as a better shooter. Maybe they're trying to make that high school team or make it to college, get a scholarship and play college basketball. Well, they need repetition. They need to get out there and they need to practice. And you have that opportunity at Shoot 360 Memphis. Sure, you can go outside. When it's raining, what are you going to do? When it's hot, it's not good. But if you get an opportunity to go inside, Shoot 360 Memphis, and have that opportunity 365 a year to get up shots in their shooting bays with the Shoot 360 technology, why wouldn't you take advantage of it? And now you can get their services on a monthly basis. In other words, you're not bogged down with some long-term year or multi-year contract. You can go month to month. 2 locations in Collierville. That's the original 85 Market Street. You can call them at 901-316-5500. In Cordova, Big Orange Road. That number to call, 901-779-3176. As I always say, give them a call or stop by, ask them for a tour. Let them show you exactly what it's all about. Get into one of those shooting bays. I'm telling you, you're going to fall in love with it. The future of basketball training is here at Shoot 360 Memphis. We open up Hour 3 as we do every Monday during this time of the year, talking baseball with Matt Reiser from the University of Memphis. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
It's time for the Ultimate Hot Wing Showdown at the World Championship Hot Wing Contest and Festival, Saturday, April 18th at the Memphis River Garden Park on Riverside Drive. See over 60 teams fighting for hot wing supremacy, along with live blues, soul, and rock and roll, all in support of the Ronald McDonald House and the St. Jude Walk. It's a sizzling day of fiery flavors, live music, and family fun, and you're invited. Get your tickets now at worldwingfest.com. Sponsored by RS Financial Group, ATC Fitness, Road Warrior Staffing, and Universal Access. This is your delicious chance to make a difference.
Memphis, repping the Grizzlies, holler and go Tigers. Make sure your home or business looks like a winner too. Call Hall Power Washing Solutions. They handle power washing for driveways, sidewalks, and more, as well as soft wash, roof cleaning, gutters, and window cleaning. They're fully insured and bring the hot water for the toughest grind. Go to hallpowerwashingsolutions.com or call 901-258-1399 for more information and a free estimate. Hall Power Washing Solutions, turning Memphis grime into shine.
Listen up, Rebel fans. Your next winning drive starts at Landers Ford in Collierville. Their game plan is simple. Find you the most savings possible. Make a trade, lower your payments, or let them buy your vehicle even if you don't buy from them. That's how you keep moving the chains. Just like the Grove on game day. Fans all across the Mid-South keep coming back to the #1 Ford dealership in Greater Memphis. See them today in Collierville or online at LandersFordMemphis.com. When you own a Landers Ford, you get the support of a certified service tech with the Landers Ford Remote Service Experience Program. They pick it up, drop it off, or fix it on the spot, so you're never left watching from the sidelines. To finish the drive, the iconic Landers Easy Pass always brings more for your trade and the biggest discounts to put you in victory formation. And now, straight from the 1977 Ole Miss football team that took down #1 ranked Notre Dame, the final snap of the day from Landers Ford President Don Kitchens.
If it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much.
As reported on Ford's 2024 Total New Vehicle Retail Sales Report, Memphis Market.
This traffic brought to you by Old Dominick Distillery. Come for the spirits, stay for the experience. Cheers to Memphis. Learn more at olddominick.com.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning, T-Dots. Out here working with a couple of accidents. Midtown traffic's doing its thing now, or it's heavy but moving on 240 North here at Lamar as traffic continues to build across the I-40 bridge over from West Memphis, coming in right now from Crittenden County. Hey, it's bridal season just around the corner. Shop local this week at Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64. You always save money when you go there first at Weimer's Jewelry. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Memphis's original sports station. We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis and W253DF Memphis.
Now back to Sports 56 mornings.
Good morning.
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 9:05, the time, hour number 3 here on Sports 56 Mornings. It is the Monday, April 13th, 2026 edition. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Jay Ham with you, broadcasting live and local from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure at 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Their spring sale continues. Right now, it is 70 degrees. There is a chance of some rain this morning. Then we're going to have a blend of sunshine and clouds this afternoon. Tonight, a low of 66, mostly cloudy and warm, and the temperatures will continue to rise here early in the week. 87 tomorrow, 85 on Wednesday, 82 on Thursday. But Thursday, we may get some precipitation. In fact, some thunderstorms right now in the forecast, but always subject to change. It is baseball time. That means it's time to talk with Tigers head coach Matt Reiser.
It's time to talk University of Memphis baseball with Tigers head coach Matt Reiser. Brought to you by Landers Nissan and Landers Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in South Haven. If it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much. Here's Coach Reiser with Greg and Eli.
He is the head coach of the Memphis Tigers, Coach Matt Reiser. Again, brought to you by Landers Nissan in South Haven, Landers Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, also in South Haven. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
Doing fantastic. All right. We've been doing this for a while now. We are into April, almost mid-April, and now we get down to the nitty-gritty. And there are a number of series left in conference play, and they all become pivotal. Unfortunately, guys, lose the series over the weekend of Florida Atlantic. Started out poorly, but finished strong with a great performance yesterday. But you continue to win one and lose two in the series, and obviously that's going to have to flip for you guys as you move forward in conference play. But overall, I would imagine a little bit disappointed.
Yeah, I said yesterday in the presser a little bit that, also if you can go 1-3 in the week, I guess the best thing to do is to win the last one. There's the positive of the situation, but also, disappointed in just not being able to take that series. And again, just another weekend, we were so close. For us to respond, we knew what Friday turned into, right? Unfortunately, got a bad start there with Will Howe, who's been really good for us all year long. And knew with it being Friday, right, this is why we haven't kind of done the Saturday, Sunday. I know we discussed this. Hey, man, what do you do rotation-wise? Well, this is kind of why on Friday you don't want to not throw your best bullet because you can get to that situation where you got got ugly on Friday. But also, it was, hey, man, we lose the battle, but let's have a chance to win the war for the rest of the weekend. And had that opportunity. Obviously, Saturday's game, 13 innings, one swing of the bat. We could have ended it there and taken that. And also, into yesterday, obviously, we swung the bat yesterday and was able to win the game. So, again, just real close. We feel like in all 4 of these series that we've had so far in the non-con play or in the conference play, been one pitch or one swing of the bat away from taking a series or even possibly sweeping a series. So, again, that's the negative part of it. The positive part of it, we have found a way to win one. And so it keeps you hanging around enough, right, until you can hopefully have that hot streak that you need that we talked about. We just haven't gone on a heater yet. We haven't played our best baseball. We haven't been able to put everything together, whether it was the pitching and the defense or the defense, the pitching and the offense as well. So, we just got to find a way to put all 3 together at the right time to play our best baseball here at the end of the second half of the conference play.
So from your perspective as a coach, is a game like Friday easier to get over than a game like Saturday? Or which one kind of is tougher to get over?
Eli, I'm going to be honest with you, they all sting the same way. If that L goes on that board, I'm going to be honest with you, it's a dagger to the heart every time. So, no, I mean, again, they're 2 different entities, right? And so, but that's what we talked about. We've got to be able to do a good job of moving on. And we even talked about that yesterday. Hey, man, great job, great win, yesterday to get back in the win column. But, we can't look at numbers or records going forward. We've got to do a really good job of staying. And now we've discussed it a few different times, right? I know here on the show and also with the team, of just being where our feet are. And when you look at it, again, I checked the RPI stuff again this morning. Just now I'm curious, right? Now we're getting the back half of the year. Like, man, this is going really bad. But it's actually the highest RPI we've had at Memphis in a long time, to be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah. And so the record doesn't reflect it, but it's because the schedule we played, right? And so what you continue to take value in is, hey, man, the preparation. Hey, man, you can't be the best if you don't play the best, but now you got to beat the best, right? And so we'll have that coming down the stretch here. Obviously going into Rice, we're coming off a sweep of Charlotte. Still got East Carolina, still got UTSA there on the schedule for you. UAB's had a really good year. I know they lost 2 out of 3 this past weekend in Wichita State, but you've got some of those components and opponents coming up, here the last half of the season.
You mentioned after the game on Saturday that it seems that you either have a game where nobody's hitting or a game where everybody's hitting, and then of course Friday or Sunday happens and everybody was hitting. So you were right on cue with what you said. Why do you think that is? And if it's kind of dispersed a little more evenly, wouldn't it certainly work out a lot better for you?
Yeah, and this is why you take a lot of value into the quality at bats, right? And so you don't look just at batting average, right? And go, oh man, guy was over 3 on the day. Yeah, but he had 2 hard hit balls, man, or had another walk in there. Hey man, yeah, maybe he had a strikeout, but it was a 10-pitch strikeout. I know we had 2 of those yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey man, that's the type of ABs we've got to have. It's the 1-pitch outs, the easy outs, the 3-pitch strikeouts, the weak contact that we've got to get away from. And that's what we've been kind of watching. If you see a bunch of red on my sheet, it means we're not having very good at bats, right? So we might not be scoring, and that doesn't add up very well. And it could be a number of factors. It could be the fact that, hey, maybe we're slumping a little bit. Maybe we're into a good arm, right? And I think that's what happened to us on Saturday, to be honest with you. I thought Friday was Friday, right? Like, the game's a little distant, but the offense themselves, I know we only scored 4 runs. We only had 7 innings to do it, but I thought we had really good at bats against
good
the
swings
Yeah,
Friday.
We did. We didn't have a whole lot to show for it. Had a little bit, but not a ton. And then Saturday, hey, man, do a good job on the starter. We get him out. We throw a big punch to tie it up. That little left-hander, man, for whatever reason, whatever little cutter or slider thing he was throwing, again, just the beauty of the art of pitching. In a day and era, we're all about velocity.
Mm-hmm.
That young man came in and did a really good job of pinpointing what he wanted to do, and it really kind of got us in a funk, to be honest with you. So sometimes that's what you run into, right? And then, again, elements of the field. You go back and you look at South Florida last week, the ballpark, the way it plays from right center to right field, it's tough to get it out. We would have easily scored at least 10 more runs in that ballpark if we'd been at home and just in a normal day, right? And then also in the factor of the wind. The wind comes into factor. Do guys take better swings or try to do less because they know the wind's blowing out? Again, all those balls we hit out yesterday, all would have got out with no problem. The 2 that the young man hit yesterday probably hit the dorm or hit the apartments out there. I mean, they were. I mean, the wind had been blowing in yesterday. It wouldn't have mattered with those home runs. But what I'm getting to is it's a level of confidence. I think that we have got to be able to maintain every single time we go in the box. And so that confidence is what I'm seeing more than the actual production. The confidence in the box. 1 through 9, great, fantastic. I mean, maybe miss a guy or 2. But that's when we're scoring runs. Hey, man, lack of confidence, for 1 through 9, maybe outside of a guy or 2, right? Hey, man, that's the disaster we have offensively. So we got to find some consistency in just where our confidence is and not be so inconsistent in game to game.
You talk about quality at bats, all that stuff, and you're red on the sheet. Are you like, how much of that, like in real time during the game, are you really tracking and taking notes or whatever? How much is it after the game, kind of going back and looking at different at bats in different situations?
No, it's every swing. Yeah. It's you know, I've got a little box next to my, you know, the way it's laid out for me. I've got the lineup there, so I can make the changes like I need to. And then I've got, you know, some area there I can write some little small notes on it. Hey man, not seeing the breaking ball well today, whatever it may be. Hey man, really need to get this guy on time with the fastball. I can just see some, and so we'll have some of those conversations from at bat to at bat, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we've talked about it, man. What good hitters do, they do a good job going from a bat to bat, making those adjustments. What great hitters do, they make those from pitch to pitch, right, adjustments. And so we're working to also get from good to great right there offensively. Again, we've been fine offensively. We've done enough overall holistic on the season to have more success than what we've had. We've got to be able to pitch it better. But when we don't, right, hit, we've got to find a way to win those games too. And when we don't pitch, we got to find a way to win those games. At the end of the day, we just got to find a way to win games. Yeah. I think at this point in time in the season, you got to throw the numbers and records out. You got to find ways to win. And I think that's just staying in the immediate pitch that's in front of you.
Also, and we talk a lot about this on the broadcasts, of guys seizing the opportunity when they get that chance, whether it be because of injury or maybe a guy slumping and you decide I'm going to go with this, or maybe it's a gut feeling that you have, and then guys jump in there and they seize that opportunity. Brady McAbee is a perfect
100%.
example of a guy who's been given that opportunity. Boy, he had a bomb yesterday that, I mean,
got us going.
That thing hit the trees in about 1.1 second. But he's a guy who didn't have a lot of opportunities early. You're giving him the chance. But it's happened for a number of guys, and they really have to take advantage of that moment.
Well, and I think this is, and I don't think I know, you know, you got to go look at the recipe for it. And so when you go look at Brady, right, and you look what he's done up to the point where he wouldn't have any opportunities or had very limited opportunities, the amount of work that he was putting into his swing, the amount of work that he was putting into his defense, right? I mean, we're very candid and very open. Hey, man, here's the things, if you want to get in the lineup, here's the things you need to do, right? Here's the things I need you to prepare for in case this happens, right? This might be a role or an opportunity for you to get some more, right, swings at this thing or some more opportunities on the defense. These are things we need to do. Brady McAbee doesn't go, oh, coach, you don't know what you're talking about, right? Brady McAbee looks at you and go, yes, sir. Okay, I got you. Okay, so I need to do this, and if I continue to do that, then that opportunity may arise for me, and that'll help me have cash.
And you see it in practice? You see it in the batting cage? Okay.
It's easy to see. Just go put the work in. The formula is laid out for us, right? And I think that's where, as a coach, people go, hey, man, why are you so confident you guys can win? Why are you confident that you guys can have a successful program? That's what you go back and look at. You know, again, you need the tools and the talent and that kind of build. But in a day and age, man, the parity of talent, it's all over the place, right? I mean, again, we talked about guys hit ball 500 feet, throw 95, run 6'2", 60s, whatever. It's that other element, the intangible elements that you go through and go, hey, man, if we're doing X, Y, and Z, I know we're going to have success. That's the process of it. So when guys sit here and come to me and go, hey, coach, man, I don't know why I'm not getting my opportunity, blah, 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 because you're focused on the wrong things. Go focus on what Brady McAbee focused on. Hey, yes, sir. That's what I got to do. And then waited for those opportunities. Didn't sit there and sulk and say, hey, well, I'm still not getting an opportunity. I'm doing this, coach. Look, I'm doing it. Look, I'm doing it. He did it because he knew that's what he was supposed to do to have any shot to have success moving forward. And therefore, here he is now cashing in.
So as you mentioned, you got Rice coming up this weekend and another very important series. You got Mississippi Valley State first tomorrow night. But like how do you try and what's the mindset? What's the message to the team of knowing, like, okay, we got to start winning some of these series?
All of our goals are right in front of us. Everything that we sought out to seek in game number one is still the exact same thing that sits right in front of us now, right? Hey, man, the first thing we've got to do is qualify for the conference tournament, right? That's still in front of us. Hey, once we do that, then, hey, man, the regular season title is still right in front of us. Coach, you're talking about regular season titles? We're 4-8, the leader's 8-4.
Yeah.
One weekend can flip the whole thing, right? And so, again, all those goals and aspirations we had for this team are still right in front of us. So if we can see that and realize that, instead of feeling sorry for ourselves or, hey, man, look what we did, you can't hang your hat on what you did if it was great. If we're sitting at 23-11 instead of 11-23, oh, man, hey, we're having a great year. Hey, it's the same situation that's sitting 11-23. All those goals and ambitions of what we wanted to accomplish are still sitting right in front of us. So I think, Eli, to your point, that's what we got to continue to focus on. Hey, man, great opportunity tomorrow to get some guys in, get some things done, right? Get this thing rolling. We've yet to have a win streak on the year. I don't know if anybody knows that or not. I mean, 11 wins. It's hard to have a winning streak. We've had a few other streaks, right? So, hey, man, it's tomorrow's like, hey, man, that's 2 in a row. One more makes what? A winning streak. There we go. Okay, so now you follow along with me with what we're trying to do here. I think our club has got, and I know our club has got to do a good job of taking that mindset of mantra of, hey, man, everything we wanted to accomplish is sitting right in front of us. We just got to go take it. How close we've been.
Do you feel like they've got the right attitude? Because it can get frustrating when you're caught, like, again, you lose the extra inning game and then it's like you can get frustrating. Do you feel there's a frustration, or do you like the way kind of their approach is right now and their attitude?
Well, I'll say there's a lot of optimism in it when you look at Sunday, right?
Yeah.
I mean, after what happened Friday and Saturday, I think it's real easy for us to just go mail it all in on Sunday.
Yeah.
And, hey, man,
no
this
question.
is it, And so the fact that we responded like that yesterday, Eli, gives me optimism, right, that we can move forward and do that part of it, that the locker room's in a decent place, right, that it's not, hey, burning bridges, burn down the boats, right, sink the ship. Hey, it's like, hey, man, there's a leak. Plug it. Hey, man, we got to fix this hole. Hey, man, get the water out faster than it's getting in, right? Let's do a few of those things, get the boat kind of back afloat like we want to, right? We can set sail and go and do what we need to do from that aspect. So I think an immediate yes, I would agree with it. Hey, man, we're in a good place in that locker room.
Matt Reiser joining us for the Tiger Baseball Report. It's brought to you by Landers Nissan in South Haven and Landers Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, also in South Haven, Mississippi. All 10 runs came with 2 outs. And I know we've talked about getting those 2-out runners home, being able to come through with the clutch hits. You got 10 of them in that game. I'm sure that happens more commonly than I think, but to me, it's like I can't even remember off the top of my head of a game with you guys scoring 10 runs with 2 outs.
Yeah, I would venture to say it didn't happen very often.
Okay, so not as common as I think.
I don't think it's as common. Maybe when you score 3. And that's all you score, right?
But not 10.
But not 10, right? And so I think for us to do a really good job, there were 2 outs yesterday. Again, just to be able to extend the inning and not, hey, man, 2 outs, nobody on base. It is what it is. Hey, man, on to the next inning. Again, that's just kind of the inspiration of the season, right? Again, we got to be very optimistic in what we're seeing. And if we can turn 1 into 2 and 2 into 3, all of a sudden you look up and there's the heater that you've been wanting. We were able to do that yesterday offensively, right? Got a guy on, okay, another guy on, big swing. All of a sudden, here we go, rock and roll, and it kind of starts to roll. It can happen that quickly, right? In the way that it's happened to us the opposite way, in direction, negatively, it can happen positive in that direction. But that's the optimism that we've got to have and continue to have, that confidence about ourselves. I think that's the biggest thing that we're looking for in this is, hey, man, that confident team we had rolling out game 1, we've got to have, game 37 or wherever we're in now, moving forward and do a good job in that aspect of it. But that's what creates the 2-out rallies, right? To be able to do a good job, just extend the inning and then find what you can after that.
Well, that's we've talked a lot about how many 2-out runs you guys have given up.
Yeah.
So you have to be on the other side of that again. Because it is very demoralizing to a pitcher, to a team, when you just can't quite get out of that inning.
That's exactly right. Well, and then you look back to yesterday, how important it was for Caden Robinson coming to that game. I mean, we're up 7-0. Garner had a long sit. They come out, they go whack, whack, whack. Okay, hey, man, it is what it is. At least we were forcing them to earn it, right? We're not walking guys from that aspect of it. But Robinson comes in, the base is loaded, right? And we're up by 4. So one swing in the back to tie the ball game up, and the wind is blowing out. There's some things that, you can collectively think and go, oh, man, there's a lot of factors against me, and go, oh, man, I just got to get the guy out and we're off the field. He's got to still get the hit. So we get the out, we get off the field with 2 outs. Huge for us, especially in that moment out of the bullpen.
That's having a positive mindset as opposed to a negative mindset.
Well,
you go out there, you go out there with a negative mindset. So, woe is me. Yeah. You give up a jack and you're tied.
Yeah, you got to think like a winner. And again, do we as coaches and our staff have to prepare for worst case scenarios? Absolutely, right? We can't get caught with our pants down. We talk about that all the time. So sometimes you might see an arm out of the bullpen go warm up, or come out of the bullpen and we see another guy go down, hey, man, start moving around a little bit. Just, hey, man, we got to be prepared in case something happens, that doesn't go our way. We don't want to get caught with our pants down because it can happen quickly in this game.
Real quick, do you ever get the word when a guy's warming up in the pen? Because I've never seen it, like where a guy warms up and then all of a sudden, oh, no, let's get somebody else up. Like, he's not throwing well and you don't go with him?
No, the bullpen is the bullpen. It's kind of like BP, right? Like you want it to be good, you want it to be focused, you want to be locked in, you want to take good swings. But at the end of the day, it's a result you put in between the white
You can't really
lines.
screw up a bullpen session.
And even if you do screw up the bullpen session, okay, but it's still about
Doesn't
going
matter.
and getting the guy out on the field, right? So
right.
I don't want to say you don't put value into it, but you don't put a ton of stock into it, right?
Gotcha.
I always love watching guys, and it's funny, because as a staff, we'll sit there and watch a guy come in, throw his 8 warm-up pitches, and 6 of them go to the backstep and go, oh boy. All right, and then, of course, first pitch is boom, strike one right down the middle.
Right.
There it is. All right, good. Like, you got all the bad ones out of the way. So odds are in our favor. So, again, don't put a whole lot of stock into it. But you do have to know your players, right? And I think that's what we did a really good job of yesterday. We had to watch with our eyes. We brought Caden Robinson in. He really kind of labored through. And this is the second outing of the week. It's the first time he's gone two outings in a week. And so even though he's only at 20-something pitches, right, he got out of that one inning. He goes back out. He gets us a 0 like we needed the next inning. You're kind of watching a little bit and going, man, I can just see it kind of.
You try to stretch him a little bit, but then you pulled him.
We did. Hey, man, go out, 4-pitch walk. All right. Hey, man, we really want him for the lefties, but let's not force the issue. Oswald's ready to go. Again, let's watch Oswald. He pitched yesterday. The idea was probably to go one with him and one with Sanders and one with Fair and finish that thing off. But you start watching Oswald and man, he looks pretty strong. He looks good. I know he went through 12 pitches yesterday, but yeah, let's run back out for second inning. He gets us 2 innings, Yes. And so you got to watch with the eyes. I don't think there's a set kind of thing, right? Like, hey, man, this is going on, that's going on. Know your guys, know when the guys have it or don't have it. But we got to watch it too and have a good feeling on it.
The bullpen's just like the driving range. My best golf is played after I hit it terribly on the range. If I hit it good on the range, I don't know what happens going to that first tee, but it becomes a disaster. That's like, you have no idea.
The odds are in your favor.
All right, so your hitter of the week and your pitcher of the week.
Yeah, look, I got to stick with Brady McAbee. I just big swing yesterday. Tyler Harrington also gave him a run for his money too. Maybe co-hitters a week because what Tyler was able to do there on Saturday for us, especially after a rough week last week. I thought that was the first time that he kind of looked out of whack was those last 2 games against South Florida. So for Tyler to come back and do what he did this past weekend, had the big 2-out hit there to tie the ball game on Saturday. Also goes big fly yesterday with another hit. But those 2 guys, Brady McAbee, Tyler Harrington, I'll kind of go co-hitters of the week, you would say.
I thought they were terrific. I thought Javon Hernandez was terrific as well.
was. He really was.
You moved him up into the second position, and he came through.
Yep, he did. Had some great at-bats, had a lot of doubles this week, which is good to see, right? I think that's where we've kind of lacked, in all honesty, with our offense. We've hit a few homers, but the doubles category, has kind of lacked for us, especially here as of late. We haven't hit for a whole lot of extra base hits, and so to see Javon move up and do that for us, be a little spark plug, was great to see. And then I guess we got to go pitch of the week, right? Pitch of the week for me, I know we've been concentrating and focusing on these starters, right? Hey, man, what David Case was able to do last week, what Garner was able to do last week, Howell last week, and then also getting this weekend. Thought David Case made a great start for us there on Saturday. Really gave us a shot in that 6 innings. But it's time to give the bullpen some love. And so for me, when I look at this and the guys that we brought in, the moments we brought them in, I thought Davis Oswalt was our guy, and to kind of see him back into his form, right? This is what we saw with him and Garner. We talked about that both of them were not very good for us early in the season. Maybe that was a little bit of the injury bug that they had back in the fall, trying to get back in shape physically to where they need to be. Obviously facing a tough non-conference schedule like we did. I think the schedule still ranks like number 13 in the country, right, of what we played this season. So those guys that go out there against that competition, not be ready physically, are now starting to get physically where they're supposed to be. Garner pitched much better on Sunday, but Davis Oswalt will go down as my pitcher of the week with his outings.
I think it's shaping up that you can make a run with the Oswalt-Sanders Fair combination at the back end. It's just to get the consistent starting performance, and you've gotten good performances. That Howe performance, we did not see that one coming.
Yep.
But if you can get off to a great start against Rice, this is it. This starts this run for you guys. It will be a challenge on the road in Houston against Rice, but of course before that, Mississippi Valley State, that will be tomorrow night. That'll be home at FedEx Park at Ron Fogelman Field. Coach, as always, thank you so much. Talk to you next Monday.
Appreciate it. Go Tigers, go.
That is the head coach of the Memphis Tigers baseball squad. That is Matt Reiser. He's brought to you each and every week by Landers Nissan in South Haven and Landers Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram also in South Haven, Mississippi. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Available locally on your radio dial as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, it's easy to stay tuned to Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Tiger fans, knock it out of the park at Landers Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in South Haven, #1 in Memphis. Proud to support Memphis Tigers baseball all season long. It's Truck Month with big savings on new Ram trucks with America's best full-size truck powertrain limited warranty. 10-year, 100,000 miles. Score your deal online with the Landers Easy Pass at LandersDodge.com. Remember, if it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much.
Based on 2025 Memphis Metro CDJR new car retail sales.
It's time for the Ultimate Hot Wing Showdown at the World Championship Hot Wing Contest and Festival, Saturday, April 18th at the Memphis River Garden Park on Riverside Drive. See over 60 teams fighting for hot wing supremacy along with live blues, soul, and rock and roll, all in support of the Ronald McDonald House and the St. Jude Walk. It's a sizzling day of fiery flavors, live music, and family fun, and you're invited. Get your tickets now at worldwingfest.com. Sponsored by RS Financial Group, ATC Fitness, Road Warrior Staffing, and Universal Access. This is your delicious chance to make a difference.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Tiger fans, knock it out of the park at Landers Nissan in South Haven, your Mid-South Nissan destination. Proud to support Memphis Tigers baseball all season long. Upgrade today with big savings on a special lineup of new and certified pre-owned Nissans priced below market value. Step up to a new Nissan and get in the game. Score your deal online today at LandersNissan.com. Landers Nissan in South Haven. Remember, if it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much.
This traffic report brought to you by Lauren Tag Hill of Ware Jones Realty. If you're buying a house or selling one and want fast action, contact Lauren Hill at warejones.com.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Morning.
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 9:30 the time. Hour 3 here on Sports 56 Mornings. Big League Baseball. The New York Yankees have lost 5 in a row. They are now 8-7 and now in a 3-way tie for the American League East lead with the Rays, who just swept them, and the Orioles. Unfortunately for the Orioles, the injuries are starting to mount. The Red Sox, the Blue Jays at the bottom in the American League East at 6-9, but the Yankees have hit a little swoon here.
Well, the Yankees and Mets have both lost 5 in a row, so I would imagine things are really calm in New York City. I would imagine there is no panic amongst fans. Nobody's unhappy. I imagine things are just peachy in the Big Apple right now.
Oh, and I'm sure with New York media and New York sports talk radio specifically, yeah, I'm sure they're fine with a combined 10 losses in a row. Yeah, the Mets, Soto's been hurt. They've had some issues with injury. The Yankees, I haven't paid too much attention, but I don't think it's injuries. I don't know what's going on with them to have lost 5 in a row, but that's the deal there.
Injuries overall, that's a big part of baseball so far. I've talked about the Cubs and their situation with the starting pitching, but you mentioned Soto is out for the Mets. The Brewers just lost Christian Yelich. Looks like they might it's a hamstring injury that they said they're fearing there's going to be bad news there. They're already without Jackson Chourio. The Orioles put 3 guys, including Adley Rutschman, on the DL this weekend. Nick Pivetta for the Padres left the game with stiffness in his elbow. There's a lot of injuries piling up to some big names around Major League Baseball right now, and from pitching to hitters to everybody is just so far it's been a little bit tough on the injury front.
Your guy Hunter Harvey hurt again for the Cubs. I mean, the Cubs have had a lot they've dealt with injury-wise. Pirates right now are your National League Central leaders. Only 15 games in, but the Pittsburgh Pirates, the NL Central, Reds 9-7, so a half a game behind. Brewers 8-7, Cardinals 8-7, Cubs 7-8. Obviously, it's congested. All five of those teams within a game and a half of each other. But the Pirates at 9-6.
Listen, I said when we did our picks, I'm in on the Pirates. I think they got a lot of good young talent on that team. O'Neal Cruz was a killer this weekend against the Cubs. They should have swept the Cubs. Cubs came back from 5-0 down yesterday to at least pull out one win. But, they added a couple of veteran pieces. Obviously, the pitching staff led by Skeens. That is a good Pirates team. I picked them second in the Central. I think they will be battling at the top of the division. I think they're that good.
Well, they have young talent, a lot of young talent. Maybe not a lot, but they have enough that they can be competitive. The Reds have some talent. Brewers with their pitching is always there. Cardinals, again, my expectations aren't high, but they're 8-7. They've done enough. They just don't have enough hitting right now. But Jordan Walker, he's up to 7 home runs. Whatever it is, Jordan Walker, he has it.
Well, they've been waiting on it for a long time.
They have.
Maybe he has now finally figured it out. It happens later for some than others, whatever, but maybe he has figured it out a little bit now.
They did get beat yesterday by the Red Sox 9-3. And the Braves, how about the Braves now leading the NL East? They're 10-6. They put up 13 yesterday in their win over the Guardians, 13-1.
Their offense has been amazing. Only the Dodgers have scored more runs, and it's only one more run. But the Braves have put up 90 runs. They've got a plus 46 run differential already on the year. They have been pounding the baseball.
Dominic Smith. Who? Dominic Smith hitting .355 on the year. Of course, you got Acuna. You expect that from him. Olsen, Austin Riley, the local product. Yeah, they are swinging the bats really, really well. They're getting enough pitching. Chris Sale, 6 innings yesterday of 8-hit ball, gave up 1 run, struck out 6 in the win over the Guardians. He is now 3-1 on the year. So you have your ace in Chris Sale. Yeah, Braves scare me a little bit in that NL East. The Phillies they're not clicking right now. They're 7-8. Marlins actually ahead of them at 8-8. Phillies and the Nationals at 7-8. Nationals can score runs. They got some offense. And then there's the Mets. We talked about some of the injuries that they're dealing with. The Mets at 7-9. And then you look at the NL West, and the Dodgers are the Dodgers. They lost yesterday, which is a rarity, beaten by the Rangers 5-2, despite Shohei Ohtani. That's his second straight game with a leadoff home run. But Jacob deGrom, he's been good for Texas. deGrom went 6 innings, gave up just 4 hits. He struck out 9 in 6 innings. But Ohtani's starting to put it together for the Dodgers. They have so many weapons, as everybody knows, and they're 11-4. Padres with a lot of talent, 10-6. Diamondbacks 9-7. And now you're starting to get a little space between them and the Rockies and the Giants, who are both 6-10. Giants, certainly a disappointment, the whole Tony Vitello story. It's early, though. They have a lot of talent. Rockies are going to take a beating once again this year.
The Dodgers and Mets play series tonight. If you add in their tax bills that they will pay this year, the combined payrolls is $1.07 billion.
Oh, my gosh.
For those two teams for this season. The Mets are $375 million. The Dodgers, $413 million. Again, if you add in the bills, the luxury tax bills that they will have to pay, it's over $1 billion those two are spending on rosters for this season.
So are you saying it's more than the Nationals and Pirates who start a series tonight?
Well, and it's the thing is, The thing is with that, again, you got the two top spending teams. One of them is 11-4 and in first place. The other one is 7-9, has lost 5 straight and is in last place. That's the problem. Now, again, one of their most expensive guys is injured and out for the Mets, so that certainly hurts in that category. But yeah, when you're the second highest payroll, the fans do not take kindly to 5-game losing streaks and being in last place.
No, it doesn't always work out. Cubs and Phillies. Your Cubs, my Phillies. They begin a series in Philadelphia at 5:40 today, Central Time. Also, the Cardinals in action, beginning a series at Busch against the Guardians tonight. That will start at 6:45. Not a full schedule, but there are 8 or 9 series that begin tonight in Major League Baseball.
Folks, Fleet Feet. That's the place to go to get all your running gear. You want to make sure you get shoes that are just right for you. The folks at Fleet Feet will take care of that for you. You go see them at either one of their 2 locations, and they take a look at the way you run or walk and fit you with the shoes that have all the support in the right places for you based on the way you run or walk. Plus all the other gear that you need, they've got you taken care of there as well. They've got 2 locations for you to go see them. In East Memphis, they're in the Laurelwood Shopping Center. Out in Collierville, they're at Poplar and Houston Levy, right next to the Huey's location out there. You can go see them at either one of those 2. You can also find them online, fleetfeetmemphis.com, or on social media, where they keep you up to date with things they've got going on, like group runs and other things that you can get involved with, plus the races and other stuff around the area, things they sponsor, all that stuff. It's all about the running community, all about the runners. That's what it's all about at Fleet Feet.
You're listening to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Let Bryant Dacus and Brett Norsworthy take you home every afternoon. Sports Time on Sports 56. Weekdays from 3 to 6 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
A long life is wonderful, but it comes with changes as you age. So when you're ready to change your home, Town Village Audubon Park is the perfect choice. Incredible location, amazing amenities, including a pool, all-inclusive dining, and on-site medical care so you can age in place. Monthly rental with no buy-in lets you make current choices. Apartments include full kitchen, washer and dryer, bi-weekly housekeeping, and all basic utilities. Landscape courtyards make it easy to get sunshine and fresh air. Gated parking keeps you ready to go. And the Town Village Dog Park keeps your fur baby close by your side. Hi, I'm Max. My wife Jean and I moved into Town Village Audubon Park 18 months ago. It's the best decision we ever made. We have made friends here and take part in lots of social activities. It's a comfortable life. So if you're thinking of making a change, come see me and Town Village Audubon Park. I think you'll like it as much as we do. And look, new friends.
Looking for sports in all the wrong places? Try the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland's Town Square. Fun, exciting, friendly, and comfortable with wall-to-wall TVs. 24 taps for all your beers, including $3 domestic and $5 craft pints on Mondays. Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 happy hour. Music bingo Tuesdays, daily specials, and online ordering. The Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland's Town Square. Highway 70. Check Facebook for daily specials and weekend music at the Owner's Box.
Welcome to Triumph Auto Sales, where you'll have a great car buying experience. Triumph Auto Sales is your #1 source of quality pre-owned vehicles ranging from lease returns to new car trades, all at huge savings. Plus, Triumph has a full array of financing options to meet your needs. Find your next car online at triumphautosales.com or stop in today at 4875 Elmore Road. Triumph Auto Sales will help you get the vehicle you want at the price you need and the service you deserve. For a great car and a great experience from a local and family-owned business, visit Triumph Auto Sales.
Rick's Powder Coating for a beautiful finish every time. Rick's Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South, Rick's can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Rick's Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or rickspowdercoating.com.
Old Dominic's Distillery is pure Memphis spirit, all the way from the winning atmosphere at their downtown distillery to award-winning craft spirits. And there's always something happening. April 16th, Old Dominic presents an evening with Fred Minnick, accomplished bourbon critic and journalist. Your ticket includes a copy of Bottom Shelf, How a Forgotten Brand of Bourbon Saved One Man's Life, a book signed, Small Bites, and a drink. April 18th, you're invited to Old Dominic's Crawfish Boil. Rock out the music by the Risky Whiskey Boys. Eat big and wash it all down with a craft cocktail or local beer. Plus, you can always swing by the Distillery Bar for a pregame cocktail or celebrate your wins with a guided tour and tasting. Old Dominic Distillery. Come for the spirits, stay for the experience. Cheers to Memphis. Learn more at OldDominic.com.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings. Good morning on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, 9:42, final segment here on today's program, or in today's program, Monday, April 13th, 2026, as we begin the NBA postseason tomorrow. The play-in games are set for Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. Then the actual NBA playoffs begin on Saturday. Hope you had a great weekend watching all those tanklicious games, including the Grizzlies with their 46-point win over the Jazz on Friday, followed up 46-point loss, followed up by their 31-point loss to the Rockets on Sunday, as the Grizzlies finished 25-57. They have the 6th worst record, so they'll have the 6th best odds as the lottery will take place on the 10th to move up, although no team that has finished with the 6th worst record in the NBA has ever moved up in the NBA draft lottery. Just the odds say that Memphis maybe will be lucky and they will move up as far as the draft is concerned. Again, we'll find out on the 10th of May, but we will find out later today, starting at 11 o'clock, what Zach Kleiman had to say about the season and about the offseason, and hopefully he'll say a few things that'll be interesting. Tomas Isolo will talk about his first full season as head coach of the Grizzlies. Certainly a trying year for everybody, and then players and their exit interviews. It could be very interesting today, and that'll get underway at 11 o'clock. We'll have responses to that and discussion tomorrow on the program when we join you starting at 7 a.m. Now, as far as the postseason is concerned, Oklahoma City will go in as the favorite to defend their title. So, guys, what teams, whether the team coming out of the East or somebody that could compete with Oklahoma City and deny them the Western Conference title, what teams have a chance in your mind to win the title? What are we looking at? How many teams?
I would say in the West, San Antonio and Denver. In the East, Boston, I guess New York, and I guess Detroit.
So you're not including Cleveland. Cleveland, no, you don't think is good. Okay, what do you got, Jay?
Echo, same thing. Same thing. I think San Antonio has the best chance of anyone. I like Boston now being back healthy and the fact that they've done this with this pretty much core group. But I still like Oklahoma City overall. But I think I like Denver's chances as well. But I like San Antonio and Boston. I still like the Pistons, but I still think they need that one more bump.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. I'm not real. I don't think the Pistons are winning a championship this year. There's no way they would beat Oklahoma City, I don't think.
I think next year will probably be more in line for them, but just to keep that in line of not skipping steps.
Do you know off the top of your head what they did in their regular season series, Boston versus Detroit?
I'll put it up real quick.
Okay. And again, there could be factors. It could be when Tatum was out, right? Tatum was in. Guys could have been out for Detroit. You can't always go by what that was.
And it's also a different beast in the playoffs anyway.
That's true. An experienced Boston team. Even with the guys that are gone, they still have the main core back, and those guys have the experience.
That's why I get, like, if I'm New York, I think would have just been better served if they could have got to the 4 seed and got Detroit second round and not had to play Boston second round. And I just feel like Boston with Tatum back is definitely the most dangerous team out of the East.
How big of a disappointment, though, is it if New York, again, assembled talent is pretty darn good, going into the season, Nobody gave Boston a chance because of the Tatum injury. If Boston defeats the Knicks or somebody else defeats the Knicks, I mean, what are they going to say about New York and about this assembled talent that they can't get it done? What's the narrative? We talked about the market of New York with the Mets and the Yankees a few moments ago. What about with the Knicks?
It'll stick even harder just because they're New York.
Right.
But I always go back to my cardinal rule with the NBA. If your small guard is your best player, it's going to be tough to win. It's just the nature of it.
Well, and then it goes to the whole thing of how many times do you want to continue going with that group? Especially if, let's say, they lose second round to Boston. Okay, like how many more years are you willing to just keep trying to run it back with that group? Or do you start saying, we're just not good enough with this group, we've got to do something different? And maybe it's a trade of Cat or whatever, but like you got to start thinking, like, how close are we, and is this the group that can get us there, or are we one piece away, or what is it? Who's the guy that we can trade that we can become better by trading him? Well, and I think Cat would probably be the most likely guy there, but I mean, you can't, again, you keep running it back, and every year you're losing in the playoffs. You're like, okay, well, like, what are we getting out of this? And are we getting any closer, or are we getting further away because guys are getting older?
How many years has it been since the Randall Cat trade? How many years has Cat been with the Knicks?
This is year 3, I think.
This is year 3?
No, it's 2.
Yeah, this is year 2, I believe.
So it's year 2. That's not a lot of time. There'll be the disappointment, and there's always the sense of urgency with a New York team.
Especially when they remove the coach, bring in another coach. They had movement in their front office with Leon Rose coming in. It's going to be urgent about the Knicks.
Yeah, not a lot of stability with the front office.
Like it's New York. Like it has to be. There's an urgency that comes with being in New York.
We also got to remember Indiana was a non-factor this year after last year winning the East.
Right.
And the expectations are, even though, I don't know, do you pick up where they left off 2 years ago? I'm not so sure, but you get Halliburton back and you know what he did. So Indiana will be in some form or fashion a factor.
Well, they're getting Halliburton, and as long as they stay at the top 4, they're going to get a really good draft pick.
That's right.
And you added Zubats.
That's right.
You added Zubats to make up for the loss of Miles Turner. So, I mean, like, Indiana could jump right back to the very top of the East next year.
That's a good point.
You got Indiana come back. Obviously, Detroit is good and
should stay good
and getting better. So, like,
right.
You start looking around and you're like, okay, well, this is, Atlanta is improved and getting another extra draft pick again with the New Orleans pick. Like, if you're the Knicks, and you know the Boston's going to stay good. Hell, Boston themselves gave up on the season. Before the year, they got rid of everybody, just saving on luxury tax and everything else. They weren't planning on doing this, and yet they still did it. So if you're the Knicks, like, again, you're looking around going, oh gosh, okay, how much of a window is there? And if we're out second round, say this year, again, you got to look around and go, okay, do we really believe this group can get us there, and if not, what is the move or two that we have to make?
Oh, it's the question that should be asked. Did you find out who won that season series? Detroit versus Boston?
I just had it in pre-pool.
Okay, if you find it, let me know. Also, what other teams... We talked about the possibility of the Knicks, if they don't get it done this year, of maybe looking to change up some things. What other teams that are in the playoffs, and when I say playoffs, I'm talking about the play-in teams too, teams in the postseason. What teams do you think, if they don't make a run, will make an overhaul? Like, we know that Milwaukee could be making an overhaul if they trade Giannis. The Grizzlies are obviously in the midst of doing so. Some of the teams that struggle. But what about the teams that actually are postseason bound? Who, if they have a bad year in the postseason, in other words, they get knocked out early, could make changes?
Orlando. Coaching and personnel, player personnel.
Orlando.
I think they definitely make the coaching change. Yeah. I don't know about the personnel, though, because
it won't be too much, but they'll move some bodies around. They'll probably move one of the Wagners or something crazy like that.
Could Philly do something?
Definitely so. because older guys don't have Joel, Paul George is getting up there.
The health factor,
and then you still got a young, youthful core that plays well. You can build from there. And the Pistons swept that season series 3-0.
3-0. They beat Boston.
All blowouts.
How about in the West? Any teams that fall into that category that are in the postseason, and if they don't make a run, could look to change some things up?
I would got to think the Clippers, they always go try to move some personnel.
Clippers, but they moved Harden already. So
Clippers and Golden State, I think, are the
Golden State.
Most definitely.
There's one.
Now, they may not be in the playoffs. Neither one of them may be in the playoffs. But
you mentioned those that's not in the playoffs. Like Sacramento's always in the playoffs.
Those teams, yeah. They're
the problem for the Clippers, it could work out. They could end up with Indiana's pick if Indiana falls out of that top four. But they don't have their pick because that goes to Oklahoma City. So, like the Clippers, if Indiana's in the top four, they don't even have a first-round pick. So that's all done, by trying to figure things out with other moves. Obviously, they've got plenty of money to spend and all that stuff that they'll throw at it. But yeah, they need to really hope that Indiana falls out of that top four and they pick up that pick.
See, I see this team doing a lot of stuff because of their owner, Ishbia and the Suns. I could see the Suns wheeling and dealing, trying to get into the Giannis sweepstakes if they can. That Ishbia guy just doesn't seem like, to me, he's a guy that's going to stand pat. This is not Para, who's got billions and billions, and he's in a castle somewhere. He probably doesn't even know who's on the well, then again, none of us know who's on the roster right now.
Well, the Suns got a local TV and great concessions back, thanks to Matt Ishbia, so it works.
Yeah, and I could see where he tries to get into the Giannis sweepstakes. Again, I'm not saying that Giannis will be traded, but I could see something happening with Phoenix. We'll talk more about this tomorrow, but again, your play-in games are set tomorrow. Heat Hornets. That's a 9 versus a 10, so the loser is done. And then the Trailblazers and Suns, which is a 7 versus 8. The winner of that one becomes the 7th seed. The loser is not out of it yet. They'll get to play another game. Then on Wednesday, Magic Sixers, same position, 7th versus 8th. Winner is in as the 7th seed. Loser still alive. Warriors, Clippers, 9 versus 10. That loser is done. That'll be coming up Tuesday, Wednesday. Then you'll have, of course, the 2 games on Friday in the play-in, and then the playoffs will start in earnest on Saturday. So the postseason is upon us. In the meantime, the postseason has already started for the Memphis Grizzlies. Postseason has also started for the Dallas Mavericks, who yesterday, Cooper Flagg goes out there and gets hurt. I don't think it's anything serious, correct?
Yeah, I think he just rolled an ankle.
You hate that, though. Last game of the year for them, rolls the ankle. Dallas, of course, winning their game.
You think he'll be back by June 23rd with Jalen Wells? Set date already made in mind.
Only player in the league. We know exactly when he's coming back, at least according to him. But so what do you think today? We got a couple minutes left here. What do you think Zach Kleiman says today? No, I'm not asking for a specific quote to guess a specific quote, but in general,
I think it'll be the general same type of stuff that I said last year. We're not where we want to be. We've got to get a lot better. We got to look at every way we can to, improve for the future. Everything else it's going to be all, again, rebuild talk of it's about getting, making the right moves to set themselves up for the future.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he'll be asked about Ja, and he'll kind of dance around that. But I don't think... I mean, if you put a percentage on it, what percentage do you give that Ja will be back?
That he'll be back?
Yeah, 0? Jay Ham's got a 0 up there.
I would say 0.5%.
I'll go lower with 0.3%.
Name that tune. Corky's Ribs and Barbecue. Great option today for lunch or for dinner. Anytime's a good time for Corky's. They've been serving up that delicious slow smoke barbecue for 4 decades. They've been catering that entire time. You got an event coming up, maybe some big summer gathering. Corky's can take care of it for you. They'll set you up. They'll tear it down. You can enjoy that delicious slow smoke barbecue starting at just $7.99 per person. Now, when you head over for lunch or dinner, get yourself your entree and add a third of a rack of ribs for just $7.99. They have lunch specials every day. Party packs that start at just $7.49, and it's more than just the delicious Q and ribs. They have great barbecue nachos. Start yourself off with that cheese and sausage plate. But other entrees you can look at, including their award-winning catfish plate, tamales, burgers, amazing salads, great desserts as well. 4 locations: Poplar Avenue in Memphis, Poplar Avenue in Collierville, Germantown Parkway in Cordova, Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Now you can go through the no contact drive-through. You could also have Corky's delivered to your home and office, set price at $3.99 per person. Obviously, you can go with any of the other services that you use to deliver that slow smoke barbecue to your home or office. It's Corky's Ribs and Barbecue, open for lunch and dinner 7 days a week. I want to thank Matt Reiser for joining us on the program. Tomorrow, we'll be talking more about the Masters and about City Golf with Mickey Barker. And I believe, not yet formalized, but Fred Smith, who is supposedly going to be signing along with Cello Jackson on Wednesday, signing their letters of intent to the University of Memphis. We're hoping to have him on rescheduled for tomorrow's show. We got Humdinger's trivia as well. Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 is coming up next. For Eli Savoy and Jay Ham, I'm Greg Gaston. Have a great Monday, everybody.